which teach them the #1 intellectual blogging on the YouTube channel.
And know if you are seeing me clearly. Let me know if you are hearing me clearly. If you are seeing and hearing me clearly. Welcome to another episode of Extra Class. Episode number. Why them like to behave so none of them something? Everything's strange, so I don't know. This is strange. Yeah. I better know. See, all the strange line on the thing. But we're there. We are trying to balance some things. I don't know why the thing looks so. But good night, everybody. I trust that you are okay. I trust that you are safe. I trust that you are healthy. For all the persons who are in the hearing of my voice or seeing my face, I trust that you and your family has been negotiating this COVID-19 situation. For all the persons who are at work, I trust that you will get home safely. For all the... Okay, sure. And for all the persons who are on their way home from work or on the road, I trust you will get home safely as well. For the persons who are home, who are ready to listen to each other about some things, we have to jam down, jam rock, Jamaica land we love. Land of food and water, Bob Marley, Usain Bolt, Vybz Kartel, Buju Banton, Shelly and Fraser Price, Elaine Thompson, Portia Simpson Miller, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, Vybz Kartel, we said that already though, and some more people. Peeps, big up on yourself. Good night. But there, I look tired, but we are dealing with the thing on the level. You understand? I have a few things to talk about, I have a few things to share, and then I'll go to my bed. But before anything though, Zane, a word from the sponsors. We soon circle.
Are you looking for the smartest way to buying, selling, and searching for a huge range of products? Introducing Island Sales, a simple and safe place to browse your items. Shop the latest and trending branded items for your needs. With Island, you can find what you are looking for easily. Save your time and enjoy your items. Sell anything in just a few clicks. Chat instantly with buyers and sellers. Get the best deals. Customer support at any time. Download Island Sales today.
Kaboom! Teach them! Always make sure the message reach them. You know, it's teach them the #1 intellectual blogging panel on the YouTube channel. Hey, yo, like, subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification button. Hey, yo, we always up to something. Teach them. Hey, yo, send the message and make it reach them. It's teach them. Right here, Warlord representing.
Yeah, peeps. We're out there. Big up to the persons who were in the stream this morning for the Kartel Verdict discussion and calling and them something there. Zane, know some people not really happy, know some people still upset, know some people still vexed, know some people still a cuss. You understand? So, but one of them things, as I say, we take certain things too serious. Yeah? But I could move on. More important things to deal with right now. The government is ramping up drive to locate passengers of COVID-19 cases. Well, passengers of flights that came in recently. COVID-19 cases are now up to 53. So persons who came into the island between March 18 and 23 and have failed to report to the health ministry will be taken into state quarantine and will be charged. You understand what I say? There's nothing wrong with that something a long time. They might tell them to forward in. So Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the greatest threat to the government's COVID-19 fight to limit the spread of the virus is the people who arrived in Jamaica between the period. The majority of Jamaicans confirmed cases are imported, and Holness says the government has received a list of people who arrived during the period and officers are collating the names. He said the police and the health officials will be going door to door to locate the individuals. Further, I need to share the stream now. The Passport and Immigrations Office, PICA, will place those who have not reported on a watch list and they will be barred from leaving the island. Meanwhile, Jamaica now has 53 cases, as I said. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Tufton disclosed that the country recorded 6 more cases He also indicated that 7 people have now recovered, including patient 1. Now, in the meantime, Holness announced a further 14-day restriction on incoming passenger traffic. And the quarantine order for the community of Corn Peace settlement in Clarendon has also been extended for a further 14 days. So those are the latest development. We have some COVID stories to share. We're going to share those. Then we're going to share details of the press conference today. Then we'll come back and address some other things. Zane, I shouldn't do it the other way. May I go share the press conference, then me forward back. You understand? So for the persons who did not get to see said press conference today, digital press conference, press briefing held at the office of the Prime Minister, where the Minister of Health, along with the Prime Minister, detailed changes and developments in recent times. So I'll be in the comment section willing a reason with some people until we circle back. Peeps, share the stream in the meantime. Corn Peace settlement. I never that me say. Oh, if I never that me say, that me mean. Alright, big up yourself, Guy Fox.
The Most Honourable Andrew Holness will lead the briefing. Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, Naomi. Good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon, Jamaicans listening on radio, on television, on the internet, Jamaicans at home and abroad. The government of Jamaica completed its deliberations at Cabinet today, and we have, as we have committed to, we are now providing you with the positions and decisions taken as a result of those deliberations. But before I do so, let me give you some insight into how the government is evolving its management of this crisis. We have now established, as I indicated at the last press briefing, a core unit of cabinet that will focus on the detailed review and deliberations of the inter-ministerial events and decisions that have to be made. And that smaller group of the cabinet met yesterday. The ministers who participated wants the public to know that they started at 9:30 and went straight through till 5:30. It was a very productive meeting, and a part of the success of that meeting is that I'm able to stand there at exactly 5 p.m. as we have said we would to the press. So in changing the way in which we have managed the decision making around this epidemic, we are better able to manage time, but also better able to spend quality time on truly thrashing out all the details of the decisions that have to be made. That group, which is really interministerial and focuses on areas that are not adequately covered by one particular ministry, that group is charged with working very closely together in ensuring that those functions that are not in the remit of a particular ministry, that there are no slips in implementation. Because the truth is, as all the ministers have agreed, that whilst we spend a significant amount of time deliberating, analyzing, receiving reports, when it comes to implementation, that is where the gap could be. And therefore, we need to be spending time not only at the policy level to get the policy correct, but we need to ensure that we are reviewing and giving monitoring and evaluation to the implementing arms, making sure that any bureaucratic obstacles, that those are removed, and that if there are things on the horizon which would not come to our attention by virtue of us sitting down in office and reviewing information, things like ensuring that we get reports from the field on a regular basis and match those to other information that is happening elsewhere in the world, so that we have a comprehensive policy making, decision making, and implementation strategy. And I believe that what we have done now has improved that and will ensure that we have no slips in the management of this crisis. Of course, I'd said it before and we'll say it again, that the greatest threat right now to where we are in the stage of the epidemic is those persons who have come into the island since the 18th to the 24th and who have not yet reported through the various channels provided by the Ministry of Health. Those persons continue to pose a public health risk. Persons who entered Jamaica on or after March 18, 2020 continue to pose an extremely high threat to the health and lives of all Jamaicans in relation to the transmission of COVID-19. We expect all relevant persons to obey the direction given to report to the Ministry of Health and Wellness, but we know that not everyone has reported to date. The government is making every effort to ensure that the list of persons who have not reported to the Ministry of Health is accurate. We are also intensifying efforts through door-to-door searches for persons who came into the island on or after the 18th of March 2020 and who have not yet reported to the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Persons who are required to be in quarantine at home but who have not done so as required, including for the entire 14-day duration, will be taken into state quarantine facilities and will also be charged. All non-compliant persons are therefore put on notice that the government is moving to charge them under Section 52 of the Disaster Risk Management Act for failing to comply with a direction given or requirement imposed by an authorized officer to regulate your movement within or around the island, pursuant to the Disaster Risk Management Enforcement Measures Number 2, Order 2020. We will remind all persons that the government already has a list of all persons who entered the island, that is the aircraft manifest. Those who have not yet reported to the Ministry of Health and Wellness will be put on a watch list to be used by PICA to stop any attempted travel, and for PICA to also notify the security force and the health authorities to charge them and put them in state quarantine. The Ministry of Health and Wellness will advise PICA about who remains on the list or who is removed from the list as persons report in from time to time. Now, I've said all of this in legal language. Let me say it so that the average person can understand what will now happen. Last week, we gave a direction to the Ministry of Health and the police force to work together with PICA and Custom to establish a list of persons who came into the island on or after the 18th of March, and that list is a comprehensive list, as comprehensive as we could get: name, passport number, and address. That list is then matched against those persons who have contacted the Ministry of Health, either through the telephone numbers which have been given, the email address which has been given, or the Jam COVID website. And we are now examining the records at the local health authorities in the various regions, because persons may have called in to those regions as well. And once we collate that, which we are now in the process of doing, we will take those persons off the list that we have of persons coming into the island. So now we will have a net list. So the list that we will have as of Sunday will be the list of persons who have not reported. The police, along with the Ministry of Health, will be going door to door. In fact, they have already started since last week to find such persons. Now, there are those who might say, well, they can't find me because I gave a wrong address. They can't find me because even though I gave the right address, that's not where I am. Granted, we may not be able to find you, but you will not be able to leave the island. And we will tighten our dragnet to find you. There is a real risk, and I will speak to that later. Persons who have not reported are, at this point, and from the time they have not reported, in violation of the order that requires them to report. And violation of the law, that is the Disaster Risk Management Act, can result in a fine of up to $1 million and imprisonment or imprisonment. We will now, as we find persons, as we discover them, charge them. And we will also, where required or as necessary, place them into state quarantine. Why is it that we have to take it so seriously? The Minister of Health will back me up when he comes up to speak, which I'll invite him shortly. That most of the cases that have come in, most of the cases that we are seeing now are cases that have come into the island during the period that I have mentioned. That is between the 18th of March and the 24th. And the other cases are related to them. So the potential for spread and exponential spread is now directly related to that population that came into the island. Now, it is not all bad news. We have a record of 460 persons who have called in to the Ministry of Health. That number may grow as we search through the other databases. And I want to thank those people who exercise their good conscience, their good judgment, a high sense of patriotism, a high concern for individuals themselves and others, done their civic duty. They have isolated, stayed at home by themselves. They have sent home their home staff or other family members, sent them away. And they have reported their situation to the Ministry of Health. The Ministry of Health tells me that there are persons who call religiously to say, here is how I'm doing, this is what has happened. And in fact, we have, for example, someone who came back from the farm work program. He came back during the period of time that I mentioned, the 18th to the 24th. He fell ill, but he self-isolated. He placed himself under quarantine. He called into the Ministry of Health. And I want to congratulate him specifically. And there is the couple, I won't say which parish, but an elderly couple who came in from the UK. And they recognized what was happening. They sent home their household staff, sent away family members. They called in to the Ministry of Health. That is what we want to see our Jamaicans do. It pains my heart to having to read this, that we are going to have to go door to door to find, to literally pull resources from other areas which they are needed to do this, when all it requires is a simple phone call to 888-1-LOVE, or to go online to jamcovid19.moh.gov.jm and fill in the simple form. Why is it that we need to know? Jamaica has done fairly well, but all of that is in threat, because the process behind keeping the curve flat is that the Ministry of Health has deployed an expert team of public health officials to do contact tracing. Now, to do contact tracing, you must first know the contact, the index. Who is the person that has the infection, and immediately identify who that person came into contact with. And once we are able to do that, then we can put in place strategies to contain. So, in the first instance, Minister of Health, we found an index case, March 10th. Person was in Bull Bay. Came to our attention. We went and investigated, asked questions, found out who that person came into contact with, and then we took some decisions for the public health, which is to quarantine the area. When we quarantined the area, everybody was quarreling with us. They're depriving people of their freedom and ability to move around. But now I think we can say we have largely brought that situation under control. People appreciate that that was in the interest of the public health. If everyone acts responsibly, we can keep our curve low. The question is going to come, Prime Minister, why not publish the names? Well, I believe we have already said it. The Minister of Health said it in Parliament, in the Parliamentary Committee yesterday. Though this is an emergency, we have to comply with what is within the law. We have to make sure that we follow the process. My own view is that at some point in time, we will have to publish the names. But at this stage, we're going to go through the process. We're going to try and identify them. We're going to exhaust all the options available to us to find those persons. And I believe that we have started to escalate the situation to ensure compliance. So at this point, I'm going to invite the Minister of Health to give a presentation.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister. So let me begin by just echoing the sentiments of the Prime Minister in terms of the need for that 5,000 plus, well, it's now about 4,500 or thereabouts, to declare themselves. The method of testing which we have engaged, and the Chief Medical Officer perhaps will elaborate on that, gives us a fair degree of confidence that we have managed to isolate, if you will, cases that have been imported. We have been able to trace and test cases that are linked to those imported cases. And indeed, beyond that, we have tested persons who are unrelated but being affected by the same symptoms, flu-like symptoms, and who have been hospitalized, and use that group as a control group to determine if there are other types of spread in the wider population. And the results so far has given us cause to be optimistic that the main source of spread would be persons who came in most recently. And so the Prime Minister is absolutely correct, based on the work that has been done on the ground and the advice given, that 5,000 or thereabouts population is absolutely critical. And I just want to say what we want to do is to help them. We want to help them to help themselves. and of course, by extension, to help the community, family, and by extension, the country. Just to give a quick update on where we are currently. So Jamaica has now recorded its 53rd confirmed case of COVID-19. This follows 6 new additions over the last 48 hours. The new cases are a 58-year-old male from Manchester, who is a contact of a confirmed case. A 57-year-old male from Kingston and St. Andrew is a contact of a confirmed case. A 40-year-old male from Kingston and St. Andrew, whose mode of transmission is currently under investigation. A 23-year-old male from Clarendon, who is a contact of a confirmed case. A 42-year-old male from Clarendon who has a travel history to the US, and a 22-year-old female from Clarendon who is a contact of a confirmed case. Currently, and on the positive side, 5 persons have been released over the last 48 hours following their recovery from COVID-19, which brings the total numbers released to 7 to date. So 7 persons who have gone through the process, been isolated, been treated, have been released. And I actually visited with the 3 released today. Yes, I did. At the University Hospital of the West Indies with the medical team, including patient 1. This is the first case that was discovered. They are fully recovered, and that discussion was quite instructive. It was to discern from them the conditions of treatment, how satisfied they were, what suggestions they would make, because we're going through a learning curve, given that this is the first time we're going through this. The report was generally very positive. They were very pleased with the medical staff, with the attention they got, and I want to just really again place on record our appreciation for their efforts. And they are better based on the 2 negative tests within the 48-hour period. So they are now going to take their rightful place back in their communities. In the case of patient 1, she will await a little while before she goes back to the UK. And they have asked to express appreciation, Prime Minister, to you, to the government, and to the healthcare system for the support. The message in all of this is that we really still have the issue of discrimination. And one of the messages that we were hoping to telecast using them and us is that when they go back in their communities, please treat them the very same way you would have treated them prior to them having this disease. This disease can be treated, persons can recover, and the vast majority of Jamaicans, as is the case in the world, will recover from it. The 25 persons are in quarantine, 59 are currently in isolation. We have now tested 540 samples, including the samples that were tested for severe acute respiratory infections, and the 53 confirmed positives, 484 negatives, and 3 pending. That's a positive rate of approximately 10%. And the tests have included 20 doctors, 25 nurses, and 6 support staff, with 1 nurse, 1 healthcare professional having a positive test. Our healthcare workers are also a critical part of the testing mechanism, and that is to ensure that their safety is guaranteed. We spoke some time ago about the mobile testing to expand the cadre of testing or the collection of samples. We had hoped to roll those out this weekend. I believe we're pushing back until Monday because we are retrofitting the vehicles to put those out. So at another time, we'll discuss that. I'll allow the Prime Minister to speak about the community quarantine and quarantine in particular, because there are some additional developments there. But just to remind Jamaicans that home quarantining remains an important part of the process, and we encourage persons to serve their 14 days and to call the 888 One Love number. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Tufton. The government of Jamaica will extend the period of closure of our borders to incoming passenger traffic. We continue to refine protocols for the eventual controlled entry of Jamaicans. And I know that when I say this, I'm going to get hundreds, if not thousands, of emails which I will forward to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, on top of our hundreds of thousands of emails already, to ask when and how and so forth. I get quite a bit of emails and calls, and many of the stories are stories worth considering. However, at this stage, we have to look at what is in the national interest, the public's interest, and even in the interest of those who have to shelter in place overseas. So we are not at the stage where we are able to return to normal. And here, may I hasten to say that when we come out of the COVID epidemic, we have to get used to what we call a new normal, meaning that there would have to be new measures in place to control entry into the island. Regrettably, as I said before, the majority of nationals who came into the island on or after the 18th of March have failed to report to the Ministry of Health. So we have very limited knowledge as to the spread of the disease within that group and how many persons in that group are actually at risk and those who are at risk of contact with them. We have seen where countries that have allowed mass entry of their nationals and others into their country, having come out of the peak of the epidemic, we are starting to see that their numbers are rising and they now have to be putting in place control measures for entry. The other consideration is that the countries from which we would get most of our nationals seeking to return home are countries with community spread, but not just community spread, they have exponential rise in their community spread. And therefore, we have to be very concerned about that. So for these and other reasons, we have to keep our borders closed. So we will extend it for a further 14 days. We will review and then make a decision after that. But we also have to consider what protocols we need to put in place to prepare us for what the new normal will look like for re-entry into the country. And by the way, that took up about 3 or 4 hours of our meeting yesterday. So I want the country to be aware, and Jamaicans all over to be aware, that your government is looking at all the combinations and permutations of policies and programs and plans to make sure that we come up with the right set of policies. Additionally, the government of Jamaica, on the advice of the Ministry of Health, will extend the quarantine of the Corn Peace community for a further 14 days. And it is clear why this is necessary. We definitely have to ensure that there is containment in that area. As it relates to the stay-in-place orders that have been given, people refer to them as the curfew orders that have been given. Let me say that I'm generally satisfied with how Jamaicans have responded. And I think all Jamaicans should have a sense of pride in how we have responded. Just that one act of staying home at night, when maybe we should all be staying home anyway, but that one act would have slowed transmission. And for those who would want to violate, for those who would want to show hubris that they can flout the law, the state of Jamaica is going to show with deliberateness that we can enforce our laws. and that we will do it justly and with respect even for the lawbreaker. And I believe that that is what has been demonstrated in these past few days. And in that regard, we wish to announce some further exemptions, modifications to the stay-in-place orders that have been given. We understand that Indicom has asked that they be exempted, and we have agreed with that request. We see that it could be useful to ensure that citizens are protected and that policemen are protected as well, because the objective of Indicom is to ensure that there is transparency in the dispensation of enforcement. We're also going to exempt the Cabinet Office for obvious reasons, and the Solicitor General's Office for obvious reasons, because they support the Cabinet Office in the preparation of these orders, which we spend a great deal of time deliberating, and the probability is that we would probably go past the time set for the curfew stay-in-place order to begin. We'll also make another modification to the stay-in-place orders. The police have reported that they are having some challenges with gas stations that are remaining open. Under the current orders, it is possible for gas stations to remain open, but they are now being used as a gathering place and a potential launching pad for any form of disorder. It really distracts the police because they now have to be focusing on gas stations when they should be focusing on other areas. And therefore, the truth is that after 8, there should really be no need for the gas station to be open. And in any event, given the circumstances and the notice already given, persons should make arrangements to fill up their tanks before 8. So, and of course, you're not driving out the gas in the night, so you should have gas in your tank in the morning. So, we're now going to specifically prohibit the opening of gas stations starting tonight at 8 p.m. So it's a short notice, but having regard to the request from the police and the challenges they face, I think it is prudent to do so. And having said that, I don't want the criminals to believe that we have forgotten about them. The truth is that we are still monitoring criminal activity very closely. And having to take on the administration and enforcement of these stay-at-home orders, it does stretch the resources of the police, which is why we have to be very careful how we put these orders in place. But I wish to, I'm not giving any warning to any criminal, but I'm going to be very clear that we are still targeting the criminals, we are still conducting the necessary operations, and we are still interdicting and arresting criminals during this period of time. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to break and invite the Minister of Finance to give us an update on the CARE program.
Thank you, Prime Minister. By way of background, the CARE program is a $10 billion program that involves the temporary transfer of cash to individuals and businesses to help cushion the economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. We will have detailed information on the program by way of a brochure that will be included in newspapers on Sunday. And this brochure on the CARE program will also be available on social media for Jamaicans to peruse and to view and to read. The mechanisms by which the delivery of these benefits to Jamaicans will occur, those mechanisms don't exist at present and have to be built, have to be constructed. And we have a team of dedicated Jamaicans from the Ministry of Finance, from the Accountant General's Department, from Taxation Jamaica, and from eGov, who have been working day and night. They've had to get an exemption on the curfew order to be able to put these systems in place to facilitate the applications that will be made by Jamaicans. The applications will open on April 9th, which is next week, and all applications will be made online through your computer or through your mobile phone. Persons will be required to submit information that identifies them, their name, their address, their phone number, their TRN, etc., as well as information about their bank account, and payments will be made automatically to the bank accounts once those bank accounts have been verified and validated. For those who don't possess bank accounts, there will be an option for them to suggest a remittance company of their choice to where the funds could be directed, and for them to collect those funds on production of an identification that matches the TRN of the application. The range of benefits are described in detail in the brochure, and we're going to make sure that we have a communication plan around these benefits so that all Jamaicans know what the benefits are and what persons can qualify for. Just to repeat, the program is geared towards the vulnerable population among individuals and the vulnerable among businesses that are affected by COVID-19. We do make for businesses that are in the tourism sector, we are aiming to have the program incentivize employers to keep their employees connected with their business, even if those employees are not coming to work, so that when the time comes to restart, Jamaica's recovery can be with the kind of momentum that puts us ahead of the rest of the region. And although we have this segment that's targeted towards tourism, I'll just remind that we have a segment that is targeted towards all small businesses in Jamaica who can qualify once they've paid their taxes and they have employees qualify for a one-time grant. And there'll be categories to which persons who perform functions that are normally registered by a municipality, and here I think about barbers and hairdressers and beauty therapists and cosmetologists and persons, bar owners and nightclub owners or operators, as well as persons who are registered with the Transport Authority, PPV licensees, and those who are registered with TPDCO, JUTA, MAXI, and JCAL, to be able to benefit from the program. Now, we are continuing, the COVID pandemic is one that is evolving rapidly, and the economic impact of it as well is evolving rapidly. And so we're in dialogue with a number of entities. We are in conversation, for example, with the representatives of the Household Workers Association of Jamaica, where we'll be making specific provisions for persons under certain circumstances and so forth. I encourage you to get your copy of the brochure when it comes out, either the physical one on Sunday or the electronic one that will come out afterwards. The website will be open. There'll be a placeholder on the website until the 9th of April. And on the 9th of April, once you have your identifying information, you can put it in. We'll have a category of benefit called just a compassionate grant, to which any Jamaican can apply as long as that Jamaican is not formally employed and is not receiving a benefit from any other component of the CARE program. So that is going to be a part of the benefit package of the CARE program that's open and available to a large pool of Jamaicans who might be unemployed, who might be informally employed, and so forth. As I said, further details are going to be coming out over the next few days, and just ask for you to share the information as it comes out with your fellow Jamaicans and help us to make this a successful intervention to assist Jamaicans with the economic support during this time of the COVID pandemic. Thanks, Prime Minister. Yeah.
Thank you, Minister. Just to reinforce what Minister Clark has said, the government of Jamaica is demonstrating that it truly cares about its citizens. We recognize that in this time of crisis, all industries are affected, and therefore the labor force will be affected, both the formal and the informal. We don't intend to create an obstacle to anyone from receiving the benefits that we have provided. And we recognize that there are those in the informal sector who would not necessarily always meet the identification requirement that would be necessary to access the benefit. And we have, as a cabinet, struggled with this, and we have considered that it is important that at this time that persons get the benefit. So you have some time. We will start open up the applications process by the 9th, is it, Minister? The 9th of April. My advice would be to everyone at this stage, get an ID if you don't have one. Get registered in some database so that we know of you. Because as we sit in the cabinet trying to figure out how are we going to help the barber who we have no knowledge of him? How are we going to help the igler in the market? We have no knowledge of her. It is very difficult to even estimate, because even the funds that we have set aside, we are not certain what are the actual numbers of persons. We have some certainty for those who are employed. We have some certainty for those who are compliant. But for others, we simply just do not know. And it makes it very difficult for government to plan, for government to make budgets. Now people say you have a census. Unfortunately, the last census was over 10 years ago. So we definitely need to have an understanding. Of course, we do updates, we do checks, we have formulas that we use, but you will never know. You will never know until you can individually identify all your citizens. So again, I have to use this platform to appeal to every single Jamaican to come into the formal system, come into the formal economy, so that we can all survive this thing together. I want to just make another point. The Minister of Finance has not made it, but it should be made. This money is not free money. And there is a sense where the population feels that the government has some money somewhere that it puts down. The government has no money. The government is the steward of your money. This is your taxpayers' money. And the government that you have elected has taken a decision, I believe, in your favor to provide some support for you during this difficult period to help to tide you over. It is a support. You would want to know that there are mechanisms in place that when we transfer the money, that we are giving it to legitimately deserving persons and to persons who are not ghosts, but real people that are getting the funds. So I wish to assure the public that the Minister is being doubly careful in putting in place mechanisms to ensure that we can establish the veracity of applications and claims that are made, and that we can have at least a standard of identification to ensure that there are genuine persons actually receiving the resources. And I wish also to say that there are those who may be waiting in the wings to say that, the funds will be used in a political way. Absolutely no such thing. Absolutely no such thing. That we will put in place systems and measures to ensure that every Jamaican who follows the rules and the systems in place will be able to benefit. Now is not the time for that. Now is the time for us as a state to show that regardless of your color, race, class, creed, political affiliation, one Jamaica in a strong unity together, working to ensure that as a country, as a family, as a unit, we overcome this crisis. I want to invite the Minister of Local Government to give an update on some local government matters.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Just to report that we have completed the first phase of a sanitization and cleaning program of all our infirmaries and golden age homes across the country. We employed 100 additional temporary workers to maintain the cleaning program in the facilities, and this will be accommodated over the next 8 weeks. Additionally, we have installed all the mechanisms and washing and sanitizing facilities. We have put in the necessary infrastructure to ensure that the 1,700 residents in our infirmaries and golden age homes are kept in excellent condition. We have started the program to ensure that all persons, as we had said before, visiting the facilities go through the necessary checks and balances to ensure that they are in good health, and we still maintain the restrictions on visits and admissions to our infirmaries and homes over the period. On Sunday, we commenced the all-island feeding program of the homeless communities through the length and breadth of Jamaica. And Prime Minister and colleagues, I want to advise you that so far we have provided breakfast and lunch for 10,000 such persons across the country, with the majority of those cases being in the corporate area. We are over 4,500 such persons in the corporate area have benefited from this. The ministry have also rolled out the program to take care of the outdoor poor, and I must say that within the first week of this program, we have reached some 22,000 Jamaicans who are registered as outdoor poor, including the 1,700 in our infirmaries. Colleagues, Jamaica, we have started the program to find shelter. And this is something that is of real concern, because since the imposition of a nightly curfew, we have discovered that there are many Jamaicans that was not counted in the numbers of persons that are homeless have now turned up on the streets. We have provided 100-bed solutions at a location on Church Street, which we activated last night. And this facility, as I said before, will facilitate 100 such persons, and also the Mary Atkins facility, which is running out of space. And Prime Minister, there is a need for us to pay some serious attention to this population. We have had roaming teams on the road driving across the corporate area and to all the parishes where we find these persons. We take them to the facilities, provide them with a bath, food, change of clothes, medical checkup. So we are, in fact, doing all that we can. Just quickly, Prime Minister and colleagues, the new market regulations have been working. We are watching to see what is taking place in terms of the efforts to try to get this social distancing within the markets. We know it's going to be difficult, but we are working on it. We are working closely with the Ministry of Health and the Social Development Commission to set out the protocol around how our markets are operating. The markets have installed hand sanitizers, washing basins across all the markets, and by now, all markets across the country would have gone through a total sanitization program. So we are watching to see what is taking place within our markets. I want to also announce that the Ministry of Local Government have provided some $50 million to the local authorities for the trucking of water to all municipalities across the country, and this program is ongoing. Just two areas of concern. We still recognize that there are persons within the barbers and hairdressers that is not complying with the request that was made in terms of their operations, and we are still seeing where gyms are operating also outside of the request that was made previously. Let me say to these entities that we are still monitoring your activities, and if needs be, I will therefore make the request to the Prime Minister that we take more drastic steps to get compliance in these areas. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. The government has been getting not necessarily requests, but persons seeking an understanding of government's position on the wearing of masks. And I'm going to invite the CMO to give us her guidance on this matter.
Thank you, Prime Minister, and good evening, everyone. The Ministry of Health recommends the use of personal protective equipment by healthcare personnel. Our immediate priority is to secure personal protective equipment for health workers who are exposed by close contact with persons who are ill. Close contact means that health workers are within the 6 feet distance from their patients, and the wearing of personal protective equipment protects them from exposure. They cannot avoid close contact in order to care for patients, and that is why personal protective equipment are a must. The proper use of personal protective equipment by the health worker reduces the risk from high risk to no risk, even in environments of highest possible exposure. But even the highest trained healthcare worker has to be trained repeatedly in the donning and doffing of personal protective equipment. And the area where there is one of the greatest risk of infection is in the removal of a contaminated mask. The general public is encouraged to avoid close contact with possibly infected persons by several measures, including stay at home, avoid crowded situations, and avoid ill persons. Now, many persons are advocating for the routine wearing of masks by the general public. And yes, we agree that it can be helpful. It does offer some protection, especially where there are persons who are coughing and sneezing within your 3 to 6 feet personal space. It is not totally harmless, however, and the public must be cautious. Wearing a mask continuously is uncomfortable, and you must avoid touching and adjusting the mask, as if the mask is contaminated, you will contaminate your hands and infect yourselves and others. Perform hand hygiene every time you touch the mask. As soon as there is contamination of the mask, it must be discarded, as the risk gets higher of you contaminating yourself. If the mask is not worn properly, it will go up into your eyes. Do not rub or touch your eyes after touching the mask. Again, hand sanitize after touching the mask. Discard the mask if it becomes soiled or moist. This increases your risk of infecting yourself and others. You may be taking germs on the mask into several different settings and increasing the risk of transmission. Remove the mask by grasping the loops that are either at the back of your head or behind your ears and pulling forward and away from your face. Do not touch the front of the mask. The Ministry of Health and Wellness recommends the use of masks by persons who are ill with coughing and sneezing, persons who are quarantined or isolated at home with or without respiratory symptoms, and household members who care for the person or are in the same house. Persons who have COVID-19 and have been discharged from hospital should wear a mask for 2 weeks after they have been released and exercise infection protection control measures to safeguard family members. Persons who are at high risk of developing severe illness and complications of illnesses, such as the elderly and persons with chronic illnesses. These persons must avoid ill persons and minimize contact with the public. All other considerations are at the public's discretion. The wearing of the mask must be in addition to other infection control measures, such as regular hand washing and hand sanitizing, covering coughs and sneezes, and avoid touching your faces and avoid contact with ill persons. Thank you.
CMO, after that, I will have to think twice. I came prepared with my mask, CMO, but I'm going to consider it as to whether or not I will be able to actually be disciplined in putting on and taking off the mask. So what I take away from what you have said, CMO, and I'm now not trying to speak as a medical or a health professional, I'm just trying to interpret what you have said for the persons listening, is that a facial barrier can be helpful, whether it is a medical type mask like an N95 or maybe something like this, or probably something like this. It's a pretty nice looking mask. However, there are risks associated with them, and they are not substitutes for good practices that we have been saying. Washing the hands with soap and water. If you don't have, then sanitize. If you have to cough or sneeze, then the bend of your elbow is best, and don't touch anyone else afterwards. Maintaining your social distance. All of that is good. This would be in addition to. But the mask is a surface. And particularly in a situation where it is blocking the particles from coming in, they will rest on the surface. And like any other surface, the virus will live on it. So you have to be careful in, as you say, ducking. That's the term? Duffing. Duffing, that is taking it off. So you can't hold the mask like this to take it off. You should take it off from here or from here or on top? From here. Oh, just from here. So if it were like this, you would take it off from that. Good. So I didn't hear you say do not wear masks. If you're going to make that personal decision, then you should firstly seek not to deprive the medical professionals who would need the mask. That's number one. So if you don't need to, then don't. If you are ill, then you should. If you are caring for someone who is ill, then you should. If you are recovered from the illness, then at least for 14 days you should be very careful and wear. Are there any other circumstances? And for the vulnerable population, in addition to your regular hygiene routine. But outside of that, it's your personal choice, bearing in mind the guidance that we have given. I believe we have covered everything. Is there anyone who would want to say anything? Oh, by the way, these are some masks that are made by our Hope volunteers, helping our people excel, and they are going to be making a few of them. Well, you're going to be making several hundreds of them, thousands of them maybe, to available for persons who would want it, particularly some of our vulnerable persons. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, and we're open for questions.
Thank you so much, Mr. Prime Minister, for the comprehensive briefing. We now ask members of the media, and I believe it's about 30 persons who are in the Zoom
30.
to yes.
Remember, we have a curfew.
To yes indicate by using the raise hand feature on the Zoom. If you have a question, we ask that once we identify your media entity, then of course you identify yourself and ask your question. And for those who are in the waiting, can we ask that you just put on mute so that we don't have an overlap of the audio coming out on the one that's on. The observer is first. Mr. Henry? Go ahead, Balfour. All right, let's see if we can get over then to the Gleaner. I believe Damien Mitchell. Damien, unmute your mic for us.
Sorry, you have muted me.
All right, there you go. We hear you.
This probably may be best for the CMO. I'm trying to find out how many health workers are still in quarantine.
The CMO is on her way to the microphone.
I don't have the exact number of health workers that are on quarantine. What I would want to say to remind us that for health workers who have possible exposures, they go through a process of risk assessment. If they are determined to be at high risk for exposure, then they would be put into quarantine. If they are determined to be at low risk, then they will be monitored and they are able to work under monitored conditions. What we can report to the public is that we have in our testing, we have tested almost 9 to 10% of the persons that have been tested have been health workers. We have tested about 51 health workers for COVID, and only one that has been previously reported as positive is positive.
Thank you so much, CMO. Let's move on to Nationwide. That's Brittany. Yes, go ahead with your question.
Thank you. All right, so I have two questions. The first one, I know that the Ministry of Health and Wellness has an active mental health unit. So given the unfortunate reality of discrimination or stigma, is mental health counseling from the ministry a part of the reintegration process for recovered patients and their families? And my second question is, what is the ministry's official position on community spread Is there enough data to suggest that it has started or that we are close to it starting? Thank you.
Thank you, Brittany. CMO is on her way.
With regards to community spread, I think that, you know, the actual definition of community spread would mean that we would have had to be seeing several clusters and that we would have to be seeing several cases that are popping up in the communities. Now, we are monitoring about 4 or 5 clusters of infection at this time. We have not really had any new clusters. What we have been finding is more cases that are associated with the clusters that we are monitoring closely. We do have one particular case that we have under investigation that has come up through our influenza-like illness surveillance. And so therefore, the health workers are in that area doing careful monitoring of the situation. I would say that we would not definitely say that we are in community transmission at this point in time, but the situation is such that at any minute, you know, the surveillance, we're doing a lot more surveillance now of the communities from all the health centers and all the hospitals. And so at any minute we can find that we are picking up cases that are just popping up in the community without any direct link to an imported case or a confirmed case of COVID. So I think this time in the outbreak is a very pregnant time, you know, when anything can happen. And so we are really very cautious at this time, and this is why there is just so much importance being stressed in terms of staying at home and monitoring yourselves at home and reporting to the Ministry of Health what is happening to you, because this is a very, very, very cautious time in this outbreak, because at this time we can, 1 minute we can be going well, and then, you know, we can just have a sudden increase. In terms of mental health, yes, right from the beginning we have involved our mental health team in developing interventions in terms of how it is that we manage patients with COVID, in terms of how we manage our health workers who are treating patients, and how it is that we address the communities. So we actually have brochures that are out on maintaining your emotional health during this time, and the mental health team is actually doing several outreach programs. So this is an area that we're also working with other health groups, especially there are several agencies, especially like the Red Cross, that are waiting to be engaged to actively go into the communities to help with the mental health issues. So yes, this is something that we're actively looking at.
Thank you, CMO. Let's move over then to JNN, Michael Sharp.
Mr. Prime Minister, so I can't help but thinking that despite our best efforts, if the United States and the United Kingdom in particular do not get their act together, it doesn't matter what we do here in terms of keeping it right so we can open up back the country.
I didn't hear the first part of your question, but I suspect you're asking for my perspective.
Yes, yes.
So I share the perspective that our major trading partners and our long-standing friends, the United States, the United Kingdom, to a lesser extent Canada, but all our friends around the world, that the ability for the world economy to resume really depends on how quickly these major economies get the epidemic under control. I'm fairly optimistic that these economies have the wherewithal, both from the financial and economic resources, but more so the technical and scientific resources, to bring it under control. They will go through a spike, and the spike may last for a few weeks, but they will eventually get it under control. As I indicated earlier, we are already preparing for that time. Now, even if they do get it under control, it is not likely that you will see the elimination of the virus from our populations. What you will probably see is it will be continuing, but at a probably low infectious level until you have a vaccine that is in place and that if that vaccine works effectively. But until then, we have to figure out what will be our new normal of operation. We cannot shut down the economy and we cannot maintain these tight restrictions for a very long time. You will end up with a situation in which, as someone described it, the medicine being worse than the disease. So we have to manage this very carefully so that we don't have an uncontrolled outbreak, because that in itself would destroy the economy. And then we have to ensure that whatever outbreak there is, it is within our capacity to address it from a medical perspective. And then we have to find that sweet spot as to how we maintain that level and at the same time bring online the economy. We won't be able to come online fully because we rely on our trading partners themselves to be online fully, particularly for tourism. And that will take some time. But again, I'm optimistic that we can use this time of the epidemic, of the crisis, to find opportunities for which we can have our manufacturers and our farmers starting to produce, so that when we come out of this crisis, we are in a stronger position, increasing our output, particularly in agriculture and in some areas of manufacturing.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. Let's go back to Balfour Henry. I believe his technical problems are solved. Balfour? Wonderful. Can you ask your question? We are seeing you. Have you unmuted your mic? I don't believe we're hearing Balfour again. I know Dashan Hendricks was on. He says he has some technical problems.
Are you hearing me now?
We're hearing you now, Balfour. Go ahead with your question.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask the Prime Minister if he had given any consideration to a state of emergency instead of an island-wide curfew before he made his decision.
So, as the Attorney General had indicated, that the Cabinet considered all options available, and we considered all the constitutionality questions, all of those issues. And I think where we are now, the measures that we have put in place are sufficient. As I've said, and we keep saying, that if the situation gets worse, then you should be able to have some other tools in your toolkit that you can deploy. But where we are now, I think we are sufficient.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. I know Dashan Hendricks was on the Zoom. He said he had a little bit of technical problem on his side. So he sent his question. He asked, how many ventilators do we have in Jamaica? How many are on order? And when do we expect them to come into the island? That's Dashan Hendricks from TVJ.
I'm going to ask the CMO, who gave an explanation of this yesterday, but it's important to say it again.
All right, so within our normal cadre of ventilators, we have 26 across the island that are in good working condition. In addition, that does not include the University of the West Indies, where I understand that they have 28 ventilators there. In addition to that, we have obtained 3 ventilators last week. We received a further 23 last night, and we are to receive a further 7 next week, and then 25 at the beginning of May. That would take us up to 80 that we would have by about the first week of May. No, that's 80 including 26 plus 28. Yep.
All right.
Thank you, CMO. Before we go to the other questions, I actually, the Minister of Foreign Affairs had an update which would have answered all these questions, many of them about where we are with donations and international philanthropy and our partners. I'll invite the Minister of Foreign Affairs to give a brief report on that.
Thank you, Prime Minister. And I would just remind the public that the update is in the context of the mandate given to me to establish an interministerial mechanism, which we have called the External Support Coordination Committee. Its intention is to ensure coherence in the engagement with our external partners, to ensure coherence in communication between the ministries, departments, and agencies, and as between them and our external partners, to ensure that offers of assistance meet our priority needs at this point in time and to ensure that gaps are covered, as well as to devise methods of accountability and transparency with regards to assistance given during this crisis. So the committee includes the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Finance and Planning, Education, Youth and Information, Labour and Social Security, Transport and Mining, Local Government and Community Development, as well as the key agencies, the PIOJ, the NHF, and the Health and Wellness Foundation. From this core, we reach out to other agencies as well and ministries as required. The committee has met three times, primarily by video conference, in addition to the interagency meetings that are held to underline the actions which are necessary. So a priority needs list was provided by the Ministry of Health, and this has continued to work and to be sub-prioritized and has been provided to our external partners. And this has allowed us to align resources as we move along and to try to coordinate how best to ensure we get donations where it is possible to fill needs versus procurement to also ensure that we are moving with time and capacity as needed. So, for example, the 29 of the ventilators referred to by the CMO just now are being provided under support by the European Union. And the European Union is not only providing these 29 ventilators, which include transport ventilators and the priority ICU ventilators, but they are also exploring how to pull together additional funding to support other priority needs, which may include ventilators if we don't procure them from other means or other related equipment. You may also have heard that the Republic of South Korea, together with East-West Power, will be providing test kits, and they will be sufficient to test 7,500 persons. And these are intended to be shipped on the 8th and to arrive on the 15th, all things remaining equal, because we remember, of course, that we're having challenges with logistics and global shipping generally. But this is the intention at this point in time. They're also providing supporting equipment which will allow for implementation as well as training for technical personnel. We also are looking forward to receiving from the International Atomic Energy Agency another body of kits which should be sufficient to test 2,000 persons, and this is in conjunction with support from the United States and the United States and Canada, which provided COVID emergency funding to the agency, such that they are now going to be meeting this particular need, this particular priority for Jamaica. We're also receiving an initial shipment from the government of the People's Republic of China, which includes N95 masks, disposable protective clothing, infrared thermometers, protective goggles, disposable surgical gloves, medical isolation shoe covers, and we're also receiving from private sector companies within China to include 30,000 masks, gloves, eye protectors, more protective suits, and you may have heard or seen a response, or rather a notice in the public also about a specific donation from Jack Ma and the Alibaba Foundation. Those are not included. There is also, although it has not shipped yet, but we are looking forward to welcoming it, 30,000 surgical masks and test kits for 3,000 persons. And I speak in that language because the CMO I know has explained to you before that some tests require 2 stages, so the number may be higher, but so I speak in the number of persons who will be covered. And we also have received at the embassy in Beijing from the Hubei People's Association for Friendship with Foreign Countries 10,000 masks, which we will be sending by diplomatic bag so that they'll get here a bit more quickly. We know, of course, that there are other donations which will come through the United Nations, through PAHO and other agencies. UNICEF, as you would know, is already working directly with the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. And of course, you would have heard, which didn't come through this committee, but we will now work to support implementation with the Ministry of Health, USAID, as well as PAHO, to implement the $700,000 US or $95 million J donation by the government of the United States through USAID, because that is going to be deployed into the COVID response, but it will now come through the committee to help support how it is implemented. So as you can see, there's quite a bit happening on the international partnership platform, recognizing that even though these countries are having their own challenges, they are reaching out. We are working with them. We continue to express our sympathies and our solidarity with their governments and people as they continue to work through their own domestic challenges. And we express continuously our appreciation for the support and partnership which they also extend to us. And if you would just permit me, Prime Minister, just one more, but although I know that it is in the public domain already, the government of Cuba has also been an excellent partner. You would know already that they have provided 140 healthcare workers who are in quarantine, but some, I understand, are to hit the ground running very soon. I'm sure Minister of Health will speak about that. But so that did not come through this committee, but I feel it would be remiss of me to not express appreciation as well to the support being given in terms of that human capacity. So thank you, Prime Minister, and once again, thank you to our friends and partners.
Thank you, Minister. Prime Minister?
Thank you. Very important that we acknowledge the assistance that we have been given from our international friends, international partners. Even in a time of crisis, the goodwill for Jamaica still is strong. And, you know, when people are kind, we should say thanks. And I use this opportunity to thank all those who have reached out to us and assisted. The CMO has asked me to clarify a point, just so that the public is aware that we should have 80 ventilators by next week. In total, we should have 80. And then by the 1st of May, thereabout, another 25 should come into the island. So we should have, by the 1st of May, thereabout, over 105 ventilators in terms of our capacity. And that's critical to understand. We will continue to build out capacity as needed, but I would not want anyone to be panicking. We have made provisions, and those provisions are coming into place nicely. We could return to questions. Thank you, Minister, for that update.
Thank you, Prime Minister. I do believe it's 23 minutes past 6. We'll take about a few more minutes of questions. Quickly, though, from social media, given that the Minister just spoke, there's a Latonia on social media who's asking, will the government offer some form of relief for those who may be violating their visas, or if it's at risk, given this public health crisis globally?
I suspect you mean
on both sides.
Jamaicans who are overseas.
Correct.
Thanks very much. Of course, the advice would vary depending on where you are in the world. We know, for example, that the European Union has just this week announced that they will not be enforcing on persons. They will be allowing extensions for persons who are legitimately working or staying and who will be unable to travel or travel before the expiration of their visa for reasons related to travel restrictions. We also are aware, I just received it, I believe, yesterday, that the USIS has issued an official request now that persons who may be similarly affected there, that they should apply to the U.S. Immigration for an extension of stay, and that it's important that they do this before their visa expires. So if you are legitimately there, then you can seek an extension. So keep any receipts you have, any plane tickets, itinerary that you had to demonstrate that you were planning to move, rather to return home. And also, if you're having a challenge or if you're uncertain how to proceed, please get in contact with our missions. The emergency contact information is up on the website, mfaft.gov.jm, or it's on our social media platforms, Facebook, MFAFT, or you can email the embassy at consul@jamaicaembassy.org. Easier probably to just remember mfaft.gov.jm.
Thank you, Minister. Prime Minister, another question for you. Would you be able to update public sector workers or non-essential workers who are mandated to stay home if there is also an extension? And is there any consideration for asthma patients to be mandated to stay home just like the elderly are?
Well, as it relates to the asthma patients, that question keeps coming up. I suspect that you would want to consider them a vulnerable group. CMO, you'd want to take that question. We have not made any specific orders for asthma patients, but maybe it is something that we should consider for them to.
Sorry, Prime Minister, I'm not the clinician, but since the CMO is also an asthma patient, I'm speaking on her behalf. Yes, they are a vulnerable group. We have discussed it because she's also having to protect herself from any possible risk. But any individual with an underlying condition, diabetes, hypertension, lupus, asthma, anything that could compromise their immune system would be at risk, and as a consequence should be particularly careful.
So again, we haven't made any specific order for asthma, but it is part of the vulnerable group, and therefore they should take the necessary precautions.
And as a consequence,
as it relates to the work from home orders that have been given, those would come to an end somewhere about the 7th of April. We are in the process of reviewing, and we will come to a decision on that. We'll probably alert the nation to that on Monday. But I suspect from what I'm seeing now that it is likely that it will be extended. And people might be wondering, what would be the trigger for some of these orders to be revoked? Well, the CMO used a term which I found very interesting. This is a pregnant time. It is meaning that it is a time when there is an expectation of something to happen, and it is, it will materialize. So as Minister Mackenzie is saying, there is no such thing as a little bit pregnant. But the truth is that we are very close to the community spread stage. We have been explaining this to the public, and the fairly gradual rise in our curve may give people a false sense that we are okay. We are very far from being out of the woods. At 23 days into the crisis, if we could get the graphs up, we are very early into the crisis. Yes, we have managed to keep the curve flat, which keeps us in good standing. But if we release these measures too early, that curve could spike. If we could get graph number 1. So just looking at that graph by itself doesn't show you relative to other countries, but that's that's how the cases, the new cases have come in, and the orange line shows you the cumulative cases. We are now at 53, it is, Minister, 53 cases. 53 cases. The blue lines show you the new cases, So we had 6 new cases today. The purple line shows you the deaths that have occurred. We have had 2 so far. And the yellow line shows recovery. My graph is saying 3. We are really at 7 in total now, which is good. And so that is an overview of where we are. If we go to the next graph very quickly, we still pay close attention to the debates and concerns about testing. I wish to say that I have supreme confidence in the testing protocols established by the Ministry of Health. The logic seem quite reasonable to me, and I believe that we are covering all our bases. We are expanding testing, however, and those testing will be, again, along what I would consider to be smart lines. So we are going to be ensuring that we expand the testing and that we increase coverage. But again, we're not going to go in a way in which we are wasting resources. So it's a very strategic way in which we are going. I think we have progressed very nicely, as you can see from the graph. The blue lines, the blue bars represent the tests done on a daily basis. And you can see, starting from the first test case to today, that we have significantly increased. We are now at 539 tests. We did 64 tests today, or yesterday, of which 6, the red part of the bar, represents the number of tests that are confirmed positive. If we go to the next slide, this is a very interesting graph because it shows, the blue line shows how tests are increasing over the period of the 23 days, and the orange line shows the number of positives that we have yielded from the tests. So you can see that we are increasing our tests rapidly, but there is a fairly flat line. There are some who will say that flat line is because you're not testing enough. But we will increase the number of tests, and we will see what that will do to the yield of positive tests. Next. It's a very interesting graph. It is there for a statistical explanation, not so much for a data explanation. The red line shows where we are actually. And you can see that the red line tracks very closely the green line. The green line is linear, meaning that it is a fairly flat rate of increase. The blue line is exponential, meaning that it is increasing at an ever-increasing rate, at a constant rate probably of what it was the last time. And therefore, it will rise much faster. What we're trying to do from a strategy perspective is to keep on a linear scale rather than on an exponential scale. If we go to the next graph, we're fairly much now on a linear scale, though it's still very early, I must say that. At 23 days in it is very difficult to do a best fit line for this data based upon how much more of the epidemic we project to come. But presently, we seem to be somewhere around an 8-day doubling of the numbers. That's what the CMO has posited from the best information that we have. And an 8-day doubling places us on a relatively flat curve that would probably match a more linear growth in the numbers. However, if there is some unknown occurrence in the population, what could that unknown occurrence be? Persons who came into the island that we have no knowledge of their health status because they have not reported, and they are ill, and they are infectious, and even if they recover, they could still be shedding. And even before they show symptoms, they could be infecting. If those persons are moving around in the country, and infecting other people. And then all of a sudden, cases turn up that you cannot connect these cases to other cases that you know about. And you start to see this in increasing numbers. Then you would say that the virus is at large in the community. And that is when now we would say we have definitely community spread. That means anywhere you go, you could get the virus. That means we couldn't say that we are quarantining any area really, because it doesn't make sense, because it's all over. Then you would have to go now with a different strategy. To curb that now, that is when you would have to do what other countries have been forced to do, such as a total lockdown. So I hope people understand why it is that the government is being so strict on these other measures. Social distancing, proper hygiene, stay at home, work from home, vulnerable stay home, so that we don't get to this community spread, where really the only tool to control the community spread would be to implement a lockdown. And we have tried our best. I think we have really exercised all our energies in this regard. But it really depends on what you do personally. I visited my constituency recently, and it was a joy to see everybody, but everybody wants to come and hug me up. And, it's hard to say to people, don't, but we are going to have to bring that now into our daily practice. You have to give people social distance. Give them their space. And it's not a disrespect, it's not scorn. It's just that in this period of time, it is the responsible thing to do. I'm really nervous when I see the pictures of our markets and everybody going about their business. And I see the interviews on TV and everybody saying, nothing happened to me. Until you end up in the hospital and then we are struggling to find ventilators for you. I urge you to pay attention to what is happening in the other countries, where we see patients dying and countries having to make decisions about who gets the ventilators. It is a very serious issue. So if we go back to the final graphs, so we are at 53 cases on day 24. Panama is at 1,475 cases at day 25. If people do not behave responsibly, our curve could easily shoot up. And so I end my presentation to you today. Please be socially responsible. Please, if you have come into the island after the 18th, please report to the Ministry of Health, 888-1-LOVE or jamcovid19.moh.gov.jm. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. Prime Minister, thank you so much. There are no further questions from our...
I did I talk to myself like, oh, okay. Then sometimes me I reason with myself, them must say things that me mad, but them not know a reason me I reason with. God, me I reason like two good friend I make a chat. So what you make me reason with? God, thank Father God. Jaja. is me just do a look at thing I never made so I go on. But we there again, my friend. You understand? Yeah, man. What would I say now? Respect to the people, can't believe for talk back over a whole of that. Sure. Respect to the people them who sat through that and watch that and them good things. You understand? I know they kind of long on them thing, but you know, very informative. For the people them who come to the island between the 18th and the 23rd. And Guy Fox said nice try. And don't report to the ministry. No need for I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. No need for do the right thing, man. You understand? And sit now mind police gonna lock it up and them something there. Zane, the third victim, the third fatality in the COVID fight in Jamaica, reports are emerging that he was residing in Westmoreland. And he, unfortunately, like the corn peas victim and the Bull Bay patient zero situation, family now are facing some discrimination. Zane and thing. Miss Alcine's a sign language. Lorenzo Stewart, oh God. Yes. No, so I could deal with some serious matters and all peeps. COVID-19 casualty was being treated with bush medicine. Relatives battling rejection in their home community. This is the headline as published by the Gleaner. So the family of a 41-year-old COVID-19 patient from Westmoreland who died on Wednesday is now grappling with scorn from fellow residents amid their grief. The man was the third COVID-19 patient to have died since the emergence of the novel coronavirus. The Gleaner is withholding the names of the family members involved to mitigate the stigma associated. The Gleaner never did need to tell nobody that. You didn't for do that. You understand what I mean? Alright. The now deceased, who resided in England but maintained a second home in George's Plain, Westmoreland, arrived in Jamaica on the 12th of March and was taken to the doctor 2 days later after feeling unwell. His sister-in-law believes he might have arrived in Jamaica sick. Them, the deceased man and his wife, left in December and make plan for come back 6 months' time. But them showed up 2.5 months later. And we hear say he was sick. Zane, them come on the 12th of March and him go doctor the 14th. Then my husband call him and ask him how him do. And him said that him was coming on fine. The woman said they were surprised when her brother-in-law went back to the doctor on the 24th of March and was diagnosed as having the coronavirus and was then taken to a medical facility in Kingston. What do you say about Adi? You hear me, brother? See in peeps? So the residents told the Gleaner that they had gathered that the deceased had been misdiagnosed and was being treated at home with bush medicine before his illness worsened. The deceased man's brother, who did not adjust the claim, said he is not convinced that his brother died from COVID-19. Health officials say the death is still under review. So the news of the man's death has left an ugly scar on the family, as according to a family member, they are now being shunned by other residents of the community who are linking them to the deadly virus, which is creating unprecedented fear across the world. Since him dead, it's like all around here so branded. Nobody not come beside we. Nobody not talk to we. And it's like everybody at Westmoreland afraid of the family you know, she said. So after the patient was confirmed to have the virus, his wife and the caretaker who manages their home when they are off the island were reportedly placed under quarantine. Wow. Sad situation, Rasta. Sad situation, yo. My daughter called me for a FaceTime earlier. Daddy, why do you work so late? Then, I'm tired for sure. She said, you look so tired. I said, you don't understand. So, peeps, first thing before I move on, Zane, I guess it's not going to change because of our mentality. Zane, Bridget will be, good night. We are a very insensitive people, Zane, and because there is still an information vacuum as it relates to the coronavirus, our persons are not trying to become informed, Zane, we are still stuck on the social media sensationalization and misinformation, and instead of becoming familiar with the literature available, even though it change daily sometimes, is that we need to be a little bit more compassionate, man. Zine? So fine. The elder pass on. Condolence to his family. Yeah? Why then would you feel a need for shun the family? Mr. Blessings. You understand? And thing. I do not know as to the specifics in relation to what kind of bush remedy and what kind of bush he was being given and them something there. So I'm not going to speculate. The reality is that the possibility maybe is that it's corona related. But the people them not... If you heal a man, Zine, or you catch a virus and just heal a man, why them need for malice the man family now? And the man family not do them nothing. I don't know that the man go out, go look for corona and catch in one bag and throw in and close. Why things that away, family? Yeah, son, the things that away. Zine, the people that mourn the death of a loved one and now them have to contend with discrimination. Things sad, brother. Man caught boasting in viral video among 10 curfew breakers. Charge. We'll just call him Betty for now. You understand? So a man who launched an expletive-laden tirade against Prime Minister Andrew Holness and the police about the all-island curfew imposed by the government was among 10 persons charged Thursday for breaching the restriction. He has been identified as 37-year-old Dane Mitchell of a Penza Street, Kingston address. Mitchell was seen on Wednesday evening in a viral social media video stating his refusal to comply with the order, which was imposed as part of the Holness administration's efforts to contain the spread of COVID-19. Mitchell and 9 others were charged for breaches of the Disaster Risk Management Enforcement Measures No. 2 Amendment No. 2 Order 2020, following the first night of the week-long nightly curfew. So the other persons charged are Maurice Dunham of Whitehall, Westmoreland, Cecilia Palmer of Sandy Bay, Hanover, O'Keefe McIntosh of Central Lucy, Hanover, Shane Thompson of Prosper Road, Lucy, Hanover, Elvis Jones of Sandy Bay in Hanover, Ryan McCoy of Mount Peace in Hanover, Denton McIntosh of Malcolm Heights in Hanover, Jordan Fletcher of Rejoin in Hanover, and Elvis Clark of Kingsville, Hanover. I don't know to Hanover people, you understand? So scores of persons were warned for prosecution and cooperated, according to the police, which noted that no homeless persons were arrested anywhere in the country. I know there's a video with a vendor who sells peanut. He was not arrested, but he was detained for a little while. That kind of sound weird. You understand? Them can't go one place where them live still, based on a post on the police Twitter page. So persons are reminded to comply with the nightly all-island curfew from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. Failure to comply may put others at risk of contracting the coronavirus and can result in action taken against a non-compliant individual. So in the viral video, Mitchell was heard stating that he along with his friends had no intentions of coming off the road, but were instead praying to have a good time, preparing to have a good time outdoor. I'm tired now. The video showed the man and a group of other persons gathered around a table while drinking what appeared to be liquor and behaving boisterously. All of that would come crashing down as he was later seen in handcuffs and in conversation with a senior police officer. Zin, so back we get into things, you know. So Betty, first and foremost, I'm gonna try to find Betty situation. Zin and thing. Yeah, so this was Betty early.
Andrew will pick the water. The police, Andrew's got can't do nothing. We out here, we not going, see there. Life me, I make sure go. We out here, we not going. Andrew is a you can't have a control again, walk on control, man. Bad man, yeah, see there, Andrew in there, since bad man friends to there. We not going up. Tonight.
SSP.
So peeps, a man out there with bad man study and him friends yes, a man tell the Prime Minister something.
And we'll pick the water. The police, Andrew's can't do nothing. We out here, we not going, see it there? Life, me, I make sure go. Life. We out here, we not going. Andrew wanted to. You can't have a control again, you want to control, man.
You can't control.
Bad man. Yeah, see there, Andrew them. Since bad man friends study there.
Bad man study.
We not going up. Tonight.
He might not go in nowhere. But then, a few moments later, I don't know what I mean there.
SSP Ops.
Last night, yeah.
Last night? Go ahead. Right. No, we have found the man that we're looking for, so you can't stand down on the
right. Betty.
He was on that bed hiding, but we found him.
McGregor got easy, you know. McGregor no, so I set up the man, you know. The man say he was on that bed and we found him, eh?
Man, this is a big police.
Alright, come.
Fine.
Come.
Miss Blake.
So I'm not going, see, man.
See, I want to stay, man.
Hey, man say nah going on a deaf. So watch out now. He was charged under the disaster, risk something. I don't remember what name I made it too long. But say, Betty, you know, today released an apology. And this is what Betty had to say.
Yes, good evening, Jamaica. My name is Dimitri. On Wednesday, April 1st, I made a video and demeaning. I want to apologize sincerely to the Prime Minister, Honorable Andrew Holness, to Jamaica and to the Jamaica Constable Force. My behavior was outright and disrespectful. The things I said is not worthy to repeat.
True.
But I want to say I'm very sorry for saying all those things. As a result, I want to sincerely apologize to the Jamaica Constable Force, the Prime Minister, the hard-working men and women of the Jamaica Constable Force. And I want all Jamaicans to take this coronavirus, COVID-19, very serious.
COVID-19.
And apply by the rules and regulations said by the Prime Minister. Alright, to all my friends, them, family, loved ones, all over Jamaica, I want to tell them the truth. This thing is not a joke thing. It's very serious. The coronavirus, COVID-19 is very serious. When I made the video, I was just a joke. And I took it very serious. I wanted to listen to what the Prime Minister work with the police, them staying on the house because this thing killing people all over the world. Italy, how much thousands of people dead. We're supposed to know already. I tell you, they must try to keep us safe. I made a joke about it. And again, I'm very sorry and I apologize to the whole Jamaica, the JCF, and the Prime Minister, Honorable Andrew Holness.
The man said, I'm going to apply by the rules. That me I tell you. No, Lord, the man. You understand? The man apologize. Well, so the man from the man. You understand? So now, after Betty, there was no Eddie. Zine, what me say? Me say after Betty, there was a Mr. No Eddie. Because him decide say, him a bad boy. And the government can't take him for no toy.
Yo, everybody go let them afraid of Andrew Holness and the police. Me not afraid of Andrew Holness. Me a bad man. Police, me a bad man. You don't know if you find me. 350 Julius Road, Arnett Garden, Kingston 12. Me nah run. Police go. Any police boy come for me. Bullet. Andrew Holness, you did ask me for lockdown Jamaica.
Yeah,
You want lockdown Jamaica, you can't tell me to come off of the road. Andrew Holness, that's Andrew Holness. Me a bad man, come look for me now. Me nah run, see me ya? Tattoo everything I show Andrew Holness. You can't come tell bad man for come off a street. You come look for me and say for Jamaica depend fully lockdown if you come. Cause bullet me I go now. Any police boy who feel like they want to come touch me door, make sure say you come bulletproof from head to toe or on the ear bulletproof cause me I go to bullet 350 Julius where me there. Me not afraid of nobody. Everybody I talk about lockdown and when I come for people, come for me. Me a bad man. Andrew Holness, cause boy Andrew Holness, me a PMP. Me no respect no labor. Andrew Holness, police. Every police in Jamaica, me not care. Me a bad man. Come look for me now. Me done talk. I yes on me there. 350 Julius Road. Me not moving. You don't know me? You don't know me? Me a bad man. Oh, come now. What's going on, people? Back again. Last night I put out a video on my Facebook page and I know it gone viral and people in Jamaica take it serious, especially I think the government and the police constabulary force. And I just want to let everybody know it was just all a joke. It was nothing serious. You know, I get the video on my phone last night and I just jump out my car and I just out of the heat at the moment. I just made that video and I send it out. As you know, always on YouTube and Twitter, all these pages talking about stuff, blogging about stuff, but just want to let everybody know, just keep calm. I didn't mean anything by it. It was purely a joke. I was just mimicking what happened to the guys them in I think it was Ola Bar, Spanish Town. I'm not even quite sure. I know I just realized that this video gone viral and you know people taking it serious and stuff like that. So just to let Andrew Holness and the Jamaica Constabulary Force know that I didn't mean anything by it and it was pure joke, you know, like I said, I always blogging and stuff on the social media and I hope everybody just listen to what the Prime Minister says, stay indoors because this coronavirus is really serious. Now I'm in England and people are dying left, right and centre. Our death toll gone up, over 500 people dying a day. So, you know, this coronavirus is really, really serious and, you know, sorry for coming out and just making fun of it, but I know how really, really serious this is. So I just want everybody to stay indoors, follow what the Prime Minister say, and just keep her calm. I didn't mean anything by it. And like I said, Andrew Holness, Jamaica Constabulary Force, I have my sincere apology for the swearing that I was swearing and calling your name. But like I said, it was pure joke I was doing it for. So I hope everybody can just forget about this one. I will just can move on and concentrate on dealing with the coronavirus. So sorry about that. Thank you. Bye.
Jaja, I want to tell you, I want to tell you. Yo, I don't want to man them on social media, brother. I don't know, star. Yo, why I don't know? Me give up. Yeah, so me can't keep up with the man them. Me can't keep up, man. Yeah, a man, they are humble like a... Yo. But you know, funny enough, peeps, normally, you see, when them things are going on, enough people jump out and I see some people are defending man. I tell, say, police them for go and go look for the people who kidnap Jasmine Dean and go look for criminal and them something. So no matter where police do them can't win in our country. And that me realize. You understand? But it's good to see people from Arnett Gardens actually condemning the brother because I don't have jungle go on. Arnett residents applaud cops for arresting man caught breaking the law. Big up to Arnett Garden residents. Zine, so, one brother down on it there now I say, I support the government because of our own good. If we not come on for the road, the thing are going to spread. I don't want it get out of control in the community. I support the police them, man. Them for come on for the road at night because them not do nothing upon the road. I see the video on the Ray and I not support that, none at all. He said, adding that the virus affects everyone. You feel me? And thing. So big up to your honest people them. Them a say, yo, them for come off at the road. Not for the youth them when at the place. I do them foolishness. See, them not even come from at the area. But now I support them thing there. The whole of them should have get locked up. See, them get a bad name, he said angrily. You understand? He believes that Betty dug his own grave. A man named Mitchell, but you know Betty him name as Sham now. See, with social media. If you want to stay up on the road with your friend them, do that then. But what the video for? You did want attention. Well, the man them will keep your company in a jail. Another resident, a female, says she's obeying the curfew, but doesn't see its significance. Well, so I think about just the way I have to do. Like, at work, I normally say enough things I don't agree with, but a part of my job, so I just do it and move on. You see? And thing. Security Ministry confirmed suspected COVID-19 prisoners being isolated. So the prisoners who were or are suspected of having contracted the coronavirus are currently in isolation at lockups, the Ministry of National Security has admitted. Wow. According to the Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of National Security, Matthew Samuda, in a television interview on Thursday, the prisoners are being held at separate facilities in Kingston and St. Catherine. Samuda said there is a prisoner at the Horizon Adult Remand Center in Kingston who has been tested and has gotten a negative result, but is still being kept in isolation as a precautionary measure. He did not name the facility where the isolated prisoner in St. Catherine is being held, but Samuda said the prisoner is receiving medication but does not meet the standards set out by public health authorities for testing. He said the prisoner in St. Catherine is also showing signs of recovery, which would suggest that the symptoms he's having are not relative to COVID-19. So on Wednesday, Lope reported that police personnel at the Central Village Station in St. Catherine were uneasy after two prisoners were reportedly suspected of having COVID-19, were said to have been transferred there on Tuesday night. See, and it says female prisoners who were usually held at the facility were reportedly transferred to the Bridgeport police station, also in St. Catherine, early on Tuesday, to make way for the two suspected coronavirus prisoners, or coronavirus-afflicted prisoners. Yeah? Akin to the justice system, the judiciary is now video conferencing bail hearings. So bail hearings for accused persons in lockups locally are being conducted through video conferencing as the island's judiciary tries to maintain a just process during the fight against the coronavirus pandemic. The hearings, which started last week, are being done in partnership with the Jamaica Constabulary Force and are taking place in Kingston and St. Andrew, St. James and Trelawney. According to a statement from the judiciary, the move is to ensure that the right of the accused person to bail hearings is protected. So the judiciary, through the Ministry of Justice, Delroy Chuck, had earlier announced that the island's courts would have scaled down operations in keeping with the guidelines established by the government to fight the coronavirus, which include social distancing. Yeah, so, and thing. 876 listen now go. So, peeps, I am not one to laud politicians or to give glowing assessments of politicians. If a politician does something me think positive, I normally say it and we move on. But I have said this before and I'll say it again, that in light of the coronavirus situation, one man has emerged from it as somebody who the public is gaining or developing increasing trust in. And I think when this is all over, Dr. Christopher Tufton will emerge as a giant. Zane, I came across this article and when I read it, I decided I was going to share it. You understand? The fight has not been perfect, but the minister I try to hold the fort. Zane? Everything not crisp, but Tufton stands tall during tough times. It is common to see the slogan, everything crisp, printed on t-shirts worn by supporters of Dr. Christopher Tufton when he's on the political hustlings. Aside from the fact that politics has taken a backseat to the COVID-19 crisis, nobody needs eyeglasses to recognize that everything is not crisp These are tough times. Schools and many businesses have closed. Unemployment is on the rise. Nightly curfews have created ghost towns, and hospitals are preparing for a spike in the coronavirus cases. This is the reality of the COVID-19, the greatest global public health threat since the Spanish flu of 1918. Tufton, the country's health minister, admits that he has hardly got much sleep as he leads Jamaica's policy response to the highly contagious virus. To be totally honest, sleep is limited at this time because of just the sheer need to be alert about what is a very dynamic and constantly unfolding set of events. But when I do get the chance, I do get some rest, the minister said. See? And thing. So the World Health Organization infections are nearing 1 million. I think them pass over 1 million and then something. So I don't know if we get into that. But listen to this now. Tufton said it's a very challenging time to be health minister, adding that the nature of the novel coronavirus has many variables outside of what you can control, which makes it particularly difficult. And how does he deal with it mentally? It is really trying to find even small moments in a day to step back and think through the process, the minister said. It can be very emotional, particularly when the stress is applied, and it involves sickness and people's lives. And you see others around you whose coping mechanisms can be challenged, but you do draw on the strength of others who are in the field. Outside of that, Tufton said he tries to step back and reflect even for 5 minutes, taking a deep breath before plunging into the next challenge. The St. Catherine West Central Member of Parliament said, however, that he would not swap his job for another cabinet post, even if the choice was his. I think we are placed at particular positions in life for a particular reason, and I think I am here for a reason, and I hope it will bring or provide the leadership that is necessary to give the support and to overcome the challenge, the minister said. He, however, stated emphatically that there was no praise too great for the army of healthcare personnel on the front line of the war with the COVID-19. He said, too, that the battle involves all Jamaicans. There's an important theme of personal responsibility. COVID-19 is about an infectious disease that spreads from person to person based on our behavior. That is why social distancing is important. That is why the restrictions that have been placed are important, and together, if we exercise personal responsibility in the first instance, we will be much better off collectively in overcoming this public health emergency. As I said, I am not one to praise politicians. As I say, if a man do something I think positive, I talk about it and I move on. But I said it before and I'll say it again, the Minister of Health, despite the challenges, despite the shortfall in resources, whether human resources or equipment-wise or capital resources, he has been doing a sterling job. Yeah, man. Then when people do good, you can't go around or something. You understand what I say? I search for one picture, but I don't see it. Already. Oh, see it there? A funeral with only 8 people in attendance. That's strange, yeah? 3 days after the first case of the new coronavirus was confirmed in Jamaica, Ruel Reid's brother, Troy Stevenson, died after suffering an asthma attack. He was 52 years old. Yeah? In keeping with the 20 people restrictions on social gathering, I 10 now, the article is slightly old. That was announced by the government on the 16th of March. Stevenson relatives began planning his funeral. They decided on the 29th of March date for a handful of relatives and friends to say their final farewell. However, as deaths attributed to COVID-19 continue to rise globally, and Jamaica tries to contain the spread of the infectious disease locally, more measures were announced to further curtail the virus. So stakeholders involved in the planning and execution of funerals have therefore had to adapt, with some funerals no longer including the customary church service lengthy funeral programs, and people being eulogized. On the 23rd of March, crowd restrictions was further reduced to 10. This was when Reid contacted the organizers of her brother's funeral and changed the date of his burial to March 25. Only 8 people were in attendance at Dovecot Memorial Park last Wednesday. We went directly to the graveside, and the minister was very patient. He did it in a very peaceful and condensed manner. Reid said, adding that the service started at 10 a.m. and lasted approximately 1 hour. We wanted to comply, and it would have been selfish and inconsiderate of everyone else, as even in light of all this, we have to be mindful that other people are involved. Ministers, drivers, funeral operators, Reid said, adding that she would not want to put anyone in harm's way. Pointing out that the majority of their relatives resides overseas, Reid, who lives in Toronto, Canada, said they could not attend due to the COVID-19 imposed travel restrictions. Thank God for our technology. They couldn't travel home, so I took a lot of pictures. We are hoping that things will fall into place with the virus under control. And at that time next year, we will plan a memorial similar to a family reunion, Reid disclosed. Now, according to Reid, her family, friends and operators of Jones Funeral Service and supplies were very supportive. People just have to appreciate those that are left behind here, whether relatives or friends. Just be respectful of humanity. Even in my grief, I would not want to go outside of those boundaries and possibly endanger somebody else. Everybody at the graveside have relatives, Reid said. At the same time, she had high praises for the funeral home operators. You understand? I don't say anything go. The 1 hour there with 8 people kind of long still. I'm not telling a lie. But I just think condolences to Mr. Stephen's son. You understand? And things. So I could get into some regular programming and on peeps. You understand? Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah. Regular programming. Them not thinking. Go phone settings with the funeral. Empress sound like she's a big woman still, and she really not probably know a technology thing like that still. Investigators in Clarendon are probing separate fatal shootings. So police investigators in Clarendon are probing the shooting deaths of 2 men in 2 separate incidents in Lionel Town on Tuesday night. The first incident claimed the life of 56-year-old Everton Osborne, a fisherman of Salt River District. The police reported at about 7:10 p.m. Residents reportedly heard explosions and alerted them. On their arrival, Osborne was seen lying on a roadway with gunshot wounds. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. In the second incident, 36-year-old Gary Shaw, otherwise called Fred, of Chestnut Lane in Lionel Town, was shot and killed by unknown assailants in his community. The incident reportedly happened about 7:59 p.m. It is reported that residents heard explosions and summoned the police. On their arrival, Shaw was found lying in a pool of blood with several gunshot wounds. The scene was processed and the body removed to the morgue. Yeah? So, That is that. 4 alleged robbers arrested in St. Elizabeth. 3 Kingston residents are among 4 men facing robbery charges in St. Elizabeth. Yeah? Miss Roseanne, Anointed One, thanks so much for the contribution, Empress. Like, me not even remember say it forwarding. Big up yourself. Manners and respect every time. Hope you're still in the stream. Zane? So 3 Kingston residents are among 4 men facing robbery charges in St. Elizabeth. The police reported that the 3 Kingston men are accused of entering a man's house on Monday and stealing a sum of money along with other items. They were arrested later that day and subsequently charged with robbery with aggravation, illegal possession of firearm, and receiving stolen property following a question and answer session. The police work fast, man. The accused men are Roberto Malcolm, otherwise called Silva, a 21-year-old Sangster Crescent resident that are in Kingston. Dondre Blake, otherwise called Dan J, 24-year-old farmer of Bond Street in Kingston. Or Shane Morrison, otherwise called Shane, of a Wellington Street, Kingston address. Meanwhile, the fourth alleged robber was arrested on Saturday, March 28, following reports that he robbed a man of several items in 2 days earlier. The police said the accused was armed with a machete. He has been identified as 21-year-old Keshawn Stevens, a farmer of Woodland District in Newmarket, St. Elizabeth. So Stevens was positively identified during an identification parade, following an interview and subsequently charged, the police said. So the 4 men are to face the court at a later date. Yeah? And them things. CTOC lists woman as person of interest. So detectives at the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigation branch of the police force are making an appeal to members of the public to help to locate a woman who they believe is critical to bringing resolution to an ongoing criminal matter. The person of interest is 32-year-old Peter K. Hilton, whose last known address was Johns Road in Spanish Town. Hilton is being advised to report to CTOC immediately, as the police said they have tried without success to make contact with her. CTOC is now asking persons who know her or know of her whereabouts to contact them. I don't have no contact number here so for them. You see? And these things. Driver in custody following the fatal St. Thomas crash that killed the nurse. Why in these times we need nurses more than ever in a family. The driver who was being sought by the police in relation to Sunday's crash that claimed the life of 38-year-old Leonie Smith Wilson, a nurse of the St. Thomas Infirmary, is now in custody. He was picked up at his workplace in the parish on Monday. He is reportedly being held on reasonable suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving and is to be questioned by the police. It is reported that minutes after 8 o'clock Sunday evening, the driver of a red Honda Integra, which was heading in a westerly direction, swerved from his lane, hitting the rear end of a Toyota Probox, which was heading in the opposite direction, before slamming into a wall. The injured driver of the Probox was taken to the Kingston Public Hospital, while Smith Wilson and another female passenger were rushed to the Princess Margaret Hospital in the parish. The driver of the Honda reportedly fled the scene. Smith Wilson was later transferred to the Kingston Public Hospital where she succumbed to her injuries. So the condition of the driver of the Probox and the other occupant is unknown. Hey man, we're left to see an accident at a first crime. You understand? So the nurse was reportedly heading to work. She's a resident of the Landoe community in St. Thomas. And them something. Yeah, boy, man, Zane? So person of interest in killing of 9-year-old turns himself into the police. One of 2 persons of interest in the shooting death of a minor and the injuring of 2 others in the flanker community in St. James surrendered to the police about 3 p.m. on Monday, the 30th of March. Martina Kelly, otherwise called Tina of Lime Tree Lane in the parish, turned himself into the Freeport police in the company of his attorneys. You understand? I don't know that story. We don't need to get into that still. Zane, the police are urging Bobo, whose last known address is Lime Tree in Flanker, to turn himself in. Them did say him to do that by 6 p.m. on Tuesday the 31st. I don't know if him do that yet. You understand? Bobo Sparks. Man, they want to talk to your boss. Augustown rocked by 2 murders. So 2 men were shot and killed in separate incidents in a 4-hour span in Augustown, St. Andrew on Monday night. The Corporate Communications Unit confirmed that 2 men had been killed, but their bodies had not yet been identified. The men were killed I don't know if it has been identified since, because I know from Monday this one, so I never follow it up. Can't follow a murder business. The men were killed in separate incidents, one at 7 p.m. and the other at 11:20 p.m. The Augustown police has increased their presence in the area. Ah, boy. According to residents, the deceased are known in the area. Well, the deceased are known in the area as Mergy and Junior. You understand? More charges laid against serial rapist. The St. Catherine South Police are reporting that DNA tests have conclusively linked a man who is accused of being a serial rapist to another case. As a result, investigators are widening the scope of an ongoing probe to include similar cases in other police divisions. The team of investigators, led by detectives from the Portmore arm of the Center for Investigation of Sexual Offences and Child Abuse (SOCA), has now charged 28-year-old Chadane Harris of Bridgeport in Portmore with several counts of rape, as well as other crimes including grievous sexual assault, robbery with aggravation, housebreaking, burglary, and larceny. The latest charges of rape, robbery with aggravation, burglary, and grievous sexual assault are in relation to a December 18 case in which a woman was sexually assaulted in her home. Several items were also stolen from the dwelling, and a date for the court appearance of the accused is being finalized by the police. Yeah? Gunmen light up police car in St. Bess. This sounds like one title where a vlogger would then give to a video. This was published by the Gleaner anyway. So a team of cops from the Lacovia police station in St. Elizabeth survived a brazen gun attack by robbers who shot up their service vehicle before making their escape. The criminals had earlier held up and robbed a motorist in a neighboring parish. Oh, you know me have to picture them for that something here? I didn't realize that this is a story here. See, the criminals had earlier held up and robbed a motorist of his vehicle in the neighboring parish of Manchester, and then escaped a police dragnet before crossing over into St. Elizabeth, where they fired on a chasing police vehicle before ditching the stolen car. According to reports, shortly after 2 p.m., 3 men armed with guns went to Cross Keys in Manchester, where they held up a motorist and robbed him of a Nissan AD wagon motor car and sped away. You know me, I search for you, take a few pictures of them. The Manchester police sought to apprehend the men, but a vehicle matching the description of the stolen Nissan AD wagon breached the dragnet at high speed before crossing over into St. Elizabeth. Shortly after 4 p.m., the St. Elizabeth police, who were alerted, engaged in a high-speed chase in Content. The robbers opened fire at the police vehicle, then riddling it with bullets. They subsequently escaped on foot in bushes, and a police source said that despite the police service vehicle being badly damaged by the gunman's bullet, none of the officers were injured. Yeah, we're glad to hear that. Yes, and sorry, so they never catch a fellow them. Girls shot in deadly Lawrence Tufton attack. So one girl, 8-year-old, and her sister, 9, both are victims of gun violence, who survived a cold-blooded attack in a country otherwise distracted by the displacement wrought by COVID-19. So John Brown, their uncle, is thankful to be alive after a home invasion Sunday night in Mount Ogle, Lawrence Tufton, which claimed the life of one man. A 17-year-old was also shot. Dead is 28-year-old Zaylan Prime Duncan, an upholsterer of an Escana Mount Ogle address. The sisters are being treated at the hospital and were said to be in stable condition up to the release of this article. The girls' identities are being withheld. Yeah? So the 17-year-old was treated for a graze to his left shoulder and released. So Brown, who was at home with close friends, recounted the terror of the evening attack and the fear that seized him when he was at the mercy of the lone gunman. He said he was chased through the house before falling to the ground. The Mount Ogle residents, may I pronounce that right? I'm not sure. Said that he is still in shock and that he is still alive. Well, that he is in shock, that he is still alive. Me run and spread out over there, sir. And when me see him back at me, Me I say, me dead. Cause him see when me drop. That is all me could have said. Me dead. And when me look back at me see him walk away. Brown said. Me turn fool. Cause me never expected. Brown was not aware that his preteen nieces were shot until another relative entered the house and took the frightened kids off the bed. One girl was shot in the chest. Wow. And the other sustained a bullet wound to her side. The 9-year-old one, her lungs kinda puncture, where she get shot. The other one, them get out the bullet. The two of them, they are children with tube shut down inside of them body. I guess they should be shoved down. Duncan was trying to leave the house after his wife returned to England late February, Brown said. The St. Andrew North Police reported that the incident happened about 7:50 p.m. Sunday at an area called Escana, and residents reported hearing explosions and summoned them, who were assisted in transporting the victims to hospital, where Duncan was pronounced dead. And thing. Wow. Hope the young ladies will be okay. Hope the young ladies will be okay. Yes, I So this is the big ticket news item at the moment. I would have streamed this morning. I would have given you the grounds for the appeal, possible basis on which Kartel might have been acquitted, and possible reasons why the appeal justices would have upheld the conviction. It is known now that the appeal was thrown out, and as such, the entertainer and his co-accused will continue to serve their time. Their defense team have suggested that they will seek leave from the Court of Appeal to have the matter heard in the UK Privy Council. So this is just some information in relation to the development today. I am actually in possession of the written judgment. I think it's 235 pages long. I will try as best as possible to go through page by page for my own benefit. You understand? So at least I become a little bit more familiar with some of the things that went on inside the trial that never make it out in the media. So that is what me want to familiarize myself with still. Vybz Kartel's much anticipated appeal has been dismissed by the Court of Appeal in downtown Kingston. So President of the Court of Appeals, Justice Dennis Morrison, handed down the judgment shortly before 10 a.m. this morning, Friday, the 3rd of April, via a teleconference. Justice Patrick Brooks and Justice Frank Williams were the other two judges on the panel, which upheld the convictions of the entertainer and his 3 co-convicts, Sean Storm Campbell, Kahira Cairo Jones, and Andre Madsus St. John. The appeals were filed in 2018. What you know? Justice Morrison, in delivering the judgment, said the appeals are all dismissed and the convictions are all confirmed. He said the decision in respect of sentencing is reserved pending the delivery by counsel for the men to file a note on sentencing regarding the credit the appellants are entitled to regarding their time spent in custody, and this should be done in 7 days by the defense team. Justice Morrison said, following this, the court will render its decision on sentencing in 14 days. And them something there. So that is the situation. Remember that one of the grounds, I think it was ground 13 or 12, that the sentencing was manifestly excessive. So the justices would have taken that in consideration, and the possibilities that they will now be looking at possibly reducing the sentence of the men inclusive of time served already. The defense team has said that they would have prepared for all eventualities, and they will be applying for leave from the Court of Appeals to hear the matter in front of the UK Privy Council. Generally speaking, that would take somewhere in the region of a year, but considering the COVID-19 situation, it may be much longer. So we will watch and see, and we'll watch and see if there is a sentence reduction and if the appellants actually, well, or the convicts actually accept same. So that's the situation. I'm not in enough vibes to discuss nothing here, so see, because when I touch certain things, some people kind of turn idiot. So I can't bother with that. You see what I'm saying? And thing. Yeah. I kind of notice a little thing from today. Many persons are coming in the stream with the names of persons who have been a part of the family for a long while. You understand? I think that's a deliberate attempt at something. I am not entirely sure what it is. And them things. See? Peeps, I don't know what happened just now still, but please assess the comments. You understand? Before on block or delete anybody. Please and thanks. Yeah? I don't really know what go on look while. Don't just calm down. See? And thing. Coconut drop so I go on. You see me? So well on the piece. Let me see what I go on in I dance, yes sir. Yeah man, I don't know Romario was time. I cookie put it for time. Z by Joe Gray. So Romario, what I go on, brother? Let me know what I go on. I realize that Romario, you were saying that telling a person about their mother. Oh, that Romario, then we not support that still. You see, on the start out of the thing still, but yeah, yeah, man. So me I say that's something there now. It's not a big deal as many persons are making it out to be. It's what it is. And we move on. See, so I could get to that something and wrap up that stream, you know, cause it'll get late. Yeah, them two fella here. They have been fighting a battle of trying to avoid a trial, and as such, they are maneuvering every loophole possible and weaving and bobbing and twisting. Zane. Guys, please note that I saw a second Romario Toretto in the stream, which is somebody probably just trying to copy the Romario who normally there. So I have to be cognizant of that. That is something I observed today. So just look at the thumbnail, not the thumbnail, the DP and them something there. So I just see. I don't bother with the excitement. Yeah, son. Just find the Romario where the impersonator and black the Ewan there. Simple. I made the glimpse one at a time, you know. But then he gone. Yeah, son. That's a simple thing. That's something I observed from today still. Yeah, him and them frame Romario. That funny still. Yes, I am. Well, on the piece. May I try to look for something here, so. But now I find the other one. Let's see. Yeah. Alright. 3 Romario in the room. So, I just look for the next Romario them and block them, then I have problem knowing that. I just can't monitor everything one time, you know. That's why we bring some people up on the team for help on the scene, you know. You see? So, I don't know. Yeah, man, Romario, you don't need for continue with that, man. That gone already. We apologize for that. We just need to sort out the thing. We don't need for get into a to and fro and thing. You understand? Calm down with that, bro. Yeah, but know me I look for but I see it. Alright, I could move on. Yeah, man, I realize that I go on the oxygen. So I know some persons are cloning the names of persons who are normally here for whatever reasons, I'm not sure. So it's probably just a matter of confusion. So probably somebody says something and just never appreciate it and then block it. See, I know say some of them people misfunk, man. So the moderator them just need to be mindful of that and know what go on. See, so Romario, everything good, man. You know what I mean? We just need to find the people them I try violate the others. Alright, we're ready again. Reid and Pinnock loses court appeal. Then me happy. Then me not hide that. So me not keep my secret on here. Yeah, man. The Court of Appeal on Friday rejected an attempt by Caribbean Maritime University President Fritz Pinnock and former Education Minister Ruel Reid to appeal a decision made in the full court. Reid and Pinnock are facing charges of breaches of the Corruption Prevention Act, conspiracy to defraud, misconduct in a public office at common law, and breaches of the Proceeds of Crimes Act in relation to the Education Ministry and the Caribbean Maritime University. So on the 24th of December 2019, the Supreme Court struck down an application from the men's attorneys for the court to throw out the fraud case against them on the grounds that their arrest by the Financial Investigations Division was illegal. So in a statement regarding the decision, the Court of Appeal also rejected the appeal for a stay of criminal proceedings. So they were seeking to get a stay of criminal proceedings so them no trial can go on. Big up to the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal go on with themselves today. According to the court, its decision was delivered via teleconference. Yeah, man, use the technology. In keeping with the government guidelines on public gathering in light of the COVID-19 virus. And the court said it delivered a total of 16 judgments today. The appeal court is a busy place, you know. Island sales, big up yourself in a family. You understand what I say? So, Ruel and Professor Pinnock have been trying all legal maneuvers known to men and man and woman. And so far, they have lost. I don't know where they will go next or what they will do next. Saying right now them good have vex. You understand? And in the context, we hope say justice is served. Saying whether justice say them innocent or them guilty, we want to see the full process being executed. And when the court speaks, the court speaks. It's as simple as that. You understand? And you see the funniest thing, and I was having a discussion today with somebody about another case. And I'm saying, you realize that these things are all about technicalities. Ruel Reid and Fritz Pinnock are not trying to get an injunction on the ground that we are innocent. Their bone of contention is that they were illegally arrested because of somebody from the FID arrest them. So it is illegal. In none of the application when they make, it says we are applying for a stay of execution of proceedings because we declare our innocence. You know, hear that? None at all, you know. You just hear say FID arrest we and it never legal. So, two courts have spoken. The Supreme Court has spoken. The Appeal Court has spoken. The two highest courts in the land has spoken. So I don't know if Mr. Reid and Mr. It would be good to see the case file, the written verdict of this, you know, because it will then reveal some info, you know. May I see if I can pull two strings. You understand? It would be good to see the verdict, the written verdict of Ruel them situation as we go on. So, just like other cases, there are grounds and all of these grounds are on technicalities. I don't see anybody appealing say be innocent. It is because the judge did do that, or a judge name do that, or them did do that, or police, or never police, or nobody now profess no innocence. I just technicalities. You understand what I say? So take from that what you will, take from that what you may. I am happy, and I will publicly say it. I am happy that the Court of Appeals threw out this application by Ruel Reid and Fritz Pinnock. Big up to the Court of Appeals. Yet still we ball every day. The justice system is whack. It is crap. It is quack. You understand? And nobody not talk about this a judgment because it's important. This have to do with national development. But it's important. But other things more important. Yo, I don't know, brother. I don't know, brother. You understand? Peeps. You call it this, you know. You understand? I try to get some more sleep because tomorrow editing day. You know, I normally on a Saturday or Saturday night generally, I edit the interview them for Sunday. So I'm going to try to start edit that one day early tomorrow. And thing, for Sunday service. You understand? One look in. He is probably Jamaica's most recognizable Sing J. Yeah. Bad. You understand? So peeps, I just say thing there. I appreciate the support, yeah, sir. Peter, me, you can't trick me, brother. You cannot trick me. Fire. We do fire gang, so you understand? My son can't trick me. You understand? We say Sing J. Legendary Sing J. We not talk about just a DJ or a singer. We say him is a Sing J. And him is legendary. I never hear ghost a DJ yet, Romario. You understand me? I say, we anyone that DJ? We anyone that is just a singer? I hope interview with anyone that one day. I know him still. You understand? Man, they must say a ghost. I want a dopey. You understand? Peace. Me soon Sunday. Because soon is alright. You understand? Because none no guess Nadine Sutherland last week. Nobody no guess Nadine. Everybody at about Lady G and Tanya Stevens and Celine there and Whitney Houston and the people. They do this. You understand? Taros Riley a sing to you. Taros Riley a singer, man. I say legendary. Taros Riley not legendary. No disrespect to Taros Riley. You understand? Man, not legendary. Taros Riley is a talented singer who build a legacy. He's not legendary. You understand? No disrespect, mate. Barrington Levy is a singer, he's not a DJ. I don't know Barrington Levy if he's not a singer. Hey, man is a singer. Black Roses. I'm proud. I'm a DJ. I'm DJ. Look at this of you know. You see? No, it's not Barrington still. But you can't guess the whole night. You know now get out. Singing sweet. No, I know. I never met the artist. man from Anatolia. Is who is such man? Stone Love. Lucia singer, man. You understand? You know, maybe not try to reach out to the messenger, but the message not reach him, you know. I don't know what I want. You understand? But don't get it on the name box. You understand? Don't funny, you know. I said Josie Wales. The Colonel a DJ, man. The Colonel and a singer. Me say sing Beanie Man. Miss Bridget, you know, you are going. Me said, hey man is a sing there. Beanie Man a DJ. Yeah, Beanie Man is legendary now, 2 years about it, but no, it's not the doctor. I'm here to tell you the truth. I wouldn't interview Beanie Man before I interview Killer. Me nah go around, you know. A big man thing, me I tell you no. I would not interview Beanie Man before I interview Bounty Killer. I don't. So I think go. You understand? Teach is a SMS message I send. What you mean this? To them people that, you know, me not talk to them yet. I never remember, you know. Professor Nuts a DJ, man. Yeah, look, I couldn't know what Sing J means. Sing J means that the man is a singer and him is a DJ. Hey, man, yo, me I go my bed. Sizzler. Rise to the occasion. Look at this. Ingrid, so I forget Spice. You know, me not think so still. Me not really think so still. Right, I know, no. May I be honest with you? I not necessarily want to interview Spice right now, Ingrid. May I be honest? You understand? Now when you have Judy Mowat and Marcia Griffiths and Lady G and Miss Pam Hall and JC Lodge and you understand? Them peeps they out on the street there. Yeah, that's the reality. Tony, you hear me? Pinchers. Lico John are pinchers. Hey, rude boy and passero, I want you make way for the bandolero. Cause if you know Pinchers thing, you know, me been did for interview Pinchers, you know, but here we go on now. I look what he did go on with Pinchers manager and I never him. Look what John, then look what John a singer and a DJ. Then we don't even know. You understand? Miss Roseanne, big up yourself. Queen of Africa. Yeah man, it's a male man. See? Yeah man, we have to interview Queen one of them there, man. When she ready? She said when she ready. She said TH when me ready, me link you, man. Now where you head? Leroy Smart, Dan Smart, Papa San. No. Warrior King. Warrior King no legendary Robert Nevins. The Warrior King thing I know is a different little thing, cause if you interview Warrior King and I have been trying to call him and from the day if you interview him I not get it. So I don't know what they worry up to. But everything good. Quite up, brother, you know me I look for half pint, sir. And I cannot find half pint. I'm gone. I don't want to talk about it's Tony Matera. Yo, Miss Rosa, big up yourself. Peeps, good night. Big up on yourself. My son on Sunday. For Sunday service, as you say, and extra class. Teach you. One of them day. You don't top, you don't love call people name, brother. Bojo. Me love me car, me love me back, me love me money and thing. But most of all, you understand? Now you say a gaga me no gone. Say, before the dawn, you know it's alright, man. The gang, here comes, how are you, ninja man? Terror fabulous. Alright. Listen me now. Listen me. If I did terror, me would tell them. I not grow to do. Terror. And me tell people this and they don't understand why Terror Fabulous am a dream interview. And me tell you why Terror am a dream interview. Because yes, you have Killer, you have the great Gargamel, you have Kalanji, you have King Shango, you have the whole of man them. But let me tell you what going on with Terror, you know, why me really want to interview Terror. See, Courtney Melody a come, but we not do that yet, brother. We not interview Courtney Melody yet still. See, as I need a modern girl with a old-fashioned kind of loving. Yellow man, no man, and I king. Here thing with Terror Fabulous, you know. For me, Terror Fabulous, if he did not have certain obstacles in his career and health challenges, Terror Fabulous would be up there with the 3 B's, Bojo B in the bounty. Because in my opinion, the echelons of dancehall that. That are the trinity of dancehall. I know people will tell me Shabba, but for me, the 3 B's, Bojo, Bounty, Beanie Man. Terror Fabulous would then rub shoulder with them man there. You understand? When you sit down and you listen to Terror, naturally Terror talented more than most of them. Lyrically, the way the man anger it, the way the man deliver it, yo, the man just versatile. What you say? Cabra, you want me interview Cabra? Anthony Red Rose is legendary. Me interview Red Rose already, Guy Fox, man. Me interview Red Rose already, man. Go look for your interview, man. What you say, man? Zine? Lord God, my son in a temper. Oi. So, Terror, I'm a dream interview. But me I work on it. Don't move. And the corona thing I cannot show what the thing them in about. You know we are going easy still. You know me I try to find Bushman, but he come like me not go deep enough in the bush because I not get through to him. You understand? Yeah, I would love to interview Shabba. Me I interview everybody, man. You understand? Must agree except Shabba. I don't know. Say Shabba is as talented musically as the 3 B's, you know. I mean, we can agree if we disagree. Shabba have a huge voice and a huge personality. But musically, I don't know that Shabba is more talented than the 3 B's. The Bojo, the Bounty, and the Beanie. You understand? That's my view that still. You see, Shabba, PM duos and a legend in the thing. But for me, dancehall stop at Bojo, Bounty, and Beanie. You understand? Shinehead! Yo, that's the big, you know. Yo. Bushman, they are foreign. Yeah. Maybe not try find the man from the east, but it look like him there west. So one of them time. You understand? But me go interview most of the people them we know call Vegas. Yo! I can't fight over, man. Hey, show the ring where your boyfriend give you the ring. I don't know how you got it, man. Yeah, I don't know how the man come look. Hey, look. From morning, broke up. So Vegas, big up yourself, fire. You understand? One of them time in the future, like far down, so who knows? You understand? One of them time. Yeah, right I know still. You see me? Yeah, man, but I love to interview Shine for you. Goofy! Yeah, man, you know, goofy interview is not a far-fetched interview, but me can't interview everybody one day. Then they have to interview some today and some tomorrow and then the next day. They couldn't want me sit down and just interview with my life. Red Rat not there yard, you know, but entire Red Rat circle, man, is a possibility, man. You understand what I say? And thing. And them something. The left side, no right now. Based on the type of artist that I try to interview, I don't think left side really reached there so yet still. You understand? Shabba is right. Yes. BM, that is alright, you know. Me get you. Yes, Shabba is up there. Me not agree with that still. You understand? But I respect your view. As for me, I say, the dancehall trinity, Bojo, Beanie, Bounty Killer. That are the trinity for me. You understand? Shabba up there, but me not have Shabba there. Because, me I'll be honest with you, when me listen Shabba, generally speaking, me don't know still. Me don't know. You understand what I mean? Me don't know. I'm going to say this and people might, like, me rate Mad Cabra over Shabba. There you go. I would love to interview Shabba Ranks. But say, I may rate Mad Cabra over Shabba Ranks on a musical level. You see? So it depends on what you appreciate in the music. You see me I say? And thing. Terlin in a forward, man. Terlin and just a virus thing. We did actually reach out to Terlin already and him did ready, but it couldn't work because the virus thing did forward down on us. You know what I mean? And thing. See me? Yes, I teach without Shabba them 3Bs and they exist. Then that's how you look for it still. But as me I say, Mad Cabra any day over Shabba. I just me I tell you that in my personal opinion. And the Trinity, Bojo, Beanie, Bounty. I just say that for me, right? So you understand what I say? And thing. So, I don't know. Junior Cat, you know say Junior say I'm never ready for no interview when I reach out to him. So then, you know, we can't interview a man when I want to interview with him. You know what I think? Yeah, so we are work. We're out there, you know. Pliers. You know, so I'm not reach out to Pliers yet. You understand? But a whole heap of people left for interview, man. Cabra, Spanner Banner, General Degree, Terry Linen, Pinchers, the works. Lico Kirk, Junior X, a million different interview out there. You understand? It's just a time I COVID has slowed down anything, you know, still. See? And thing. Yeah, you know what thing go. Roned, you know something for interview Roned from when? But Roned not there. You understand? Him not there but most of the time. And they're like, you know, the far inside. Yeah, man, definitely, man. We have got Papa San and Stitchy and Junior Tucker and the works and the whole IP. Oh, no, we're on the head of them, man. See? And thing. And that's one of them things there. See? My 3Bs, Beanie, Bounty and Cabra. My BBC, Bojo Bounty and Beanie, Bounty and Cabra. See, you left out Gargamel out of that Garfield? Boy, I read Cabra differently still. Mega. What I man them on forward? Michigan and Smiley. You know that this morning I met some Michigan and Smiley after I done stream. You see? Low-key D and Chiller you and the whole of them man they for come through and what peeps? It thing not normal, you know? It thing not normal. You understand? Right, you know. Richie Spice. Yeah, you see Richie Spice and now it's that boy I don't even know, you know. You know, so I interview Richie Spice and I know I hear from Richie Spice and I don't know where is Richie Spice, you know. You understand? But I know anyway them was nice. But one of them time, we don't know. We see how it goes still. You see it? Yeah, man. Cocoa Tea. I don't know, you know. I don't know, but I want to reach out to Cocoa Tea. You understand? But as I said, I can't interview everybody one time. Somebody say nothing. Yo, Teach, look like him hide from the... who that this? Zane, Baby Wayne. You know me now Baby Wayne for my list, I forgot to write it down. Zane, cut it wrong, all of them. Well, I don't know. I too much people for interview. You see the thing with that series there? You can't run out of people for interview. You understand? You can't run out of people for interview. So right now, I'm sorry, so Father Babandi transition, I'm going to get for interview the one. You see, and thing. But we are going all out until Baby Wayne drop out. Baby Wayne drop out. For sure. Then you have to say so much I can't even keep up. You understand? Replay tonight. Replay, man, go on here, man. Jimmy London. I'm not familiar with the name still. See? But the interview them there on the corner piece. As soon as I something I balance in, ready for take on the streets again. You understand? Oh, yeah, Baby Wayne drop out with you. See? Auntie. Kartel. Man say LA Lewis. Leroy Gibbons. Definitely, man. So Leroy Gibbons a big singer, brother, man. No think, man. Simpleton, man. Yeah, power man. And the whole of them, man. And the whole of man, man. Ninja man, simpleton, power man. The whole of man, them. Right now, except Elephant. Yeah, the Elephant, they're on a different mission, like. You understand? And thing. Fifth. But everything good. They talk to them on that time. You understand? But we're out here. The link a bill. You understand? The link a bill. The thing a grow. You don't know. We have to take a little time if we go and retool and try get in some gear and replace some things. And them something there. Okay. Alright. I never remember say yeah man, Simpleton Japort for Choto. Yeah, Power Man still there on. Zebra. You know me they enough interview Zebra. I have a few questions what I want to ask Zebra, you know. Rupert. Lawsons. You understand? And Father Tiger, that interview has been pending for a while. I'm not sure what hold it up. But Tiger, one of the man them we want. I think Terror Fabulous and Tiger kind of neck and neck in terms of my interest, in terms of what happened to Tiger and what Tiger might have become as an artist if he had not met in that accident and them something there. So them two interview there, I think if we could unpick two interview now, we unpick them two person there. You know, Berry's a different league. You know, Sanchez a different league. See, we are work on some things. Yeah, man, me they interview Zebra, man. And me say me they have some questions for Zebra. You understand? And thing. It then probably be a good interview, you know, a fun interview, you know, Rupert. Interview Yellow Man. But you see, me have no link for Yellow Man yet still. But peeps, the thing is that one interview will bring a next interview. I just saw a thing go. You understand? So we're not too rush it. We just make a thing them fall in place. Zine. And trust me, when I say the work is out there, the work is out there. You feel what I say? The work is out there. You understand? So the reality is that and everybody want your interview there. Because you have to remember to say teach them it's not a Winford Williams or Anthony Miller. Zane. So sometime even you make the link, but Terry Gansett, what you mean? Cha-la-la-la-la, welcome the outlaw. Cha-la-la-la-la, welcome the... What you So, Terry Gansey, I forget to interview one at a time, brother. What you mean, man? Zin, sometime when the link they make, Frisco not ready yet. I could just put it there, sir. Frisco say not ready yet. You understand? Definitely, man. I want to interview Weepo. I want to interview some other people, you understand, the Donovan Germans, the Gussie Clarks, the Dean Frasers, you understand, the Bobby Digitals, the man there who, you know, and them are the face of the music, but them are the sound of the music. You understand? Seeing Dave Kelly, I mean, nobody not really interview Dave Kelly, so that to them be a big jar. You understand? I whole heap of look at things, people. Sometimes it's a matter of timing, and as me I say, and everybody want, because who is teach them? Look man with a look YouTube channel. Them man no thing on stage. I don't entertainment report. I always teach them, man. This is so loud still, but there are a few people good as I say so. But one of them there, man, you know a thing, man. Baby Sham. Me I pretty hard to get Sham interview, man. See? Pretty hard to get Sham interview, cause from you and the killer good, you and Sham, you have Sham link there. So Spragga was supposed to interview Spragga and it never happened that time there. So when I time it gonna happen. I want to rush it thing in the people. Yeah man, the whole of the Josie Wales, Brigadier, Charlie, we want to interview them man there. You understand in our future? As me I say peeps, the thing I get big man. I want to just go and hold on man. I just General Trees, yeah, everybody except L.A. Lewis and Nuffy. You understand? Me I interview them. I don't know leave me now. See, Tess and Chin, I know my brother. I don't know if Tess and Chin husband want me interview Tess and Chin still because you want to say, yeah man, I'm going to interview some selector to man. Sky Juice, Zane, Panther, Zane, and probably Trooper, Zane, squinching on the boat, but you know what thing go. Firelings, cause them and they are generally I think. You understand? So you do if you don't. Look, me I go interview most people. When just relax, I want to talk to me now. Look how long I say me I left and me still there. Yeah, man, I mean, I have to interview lyrical brother. What you mean? Well, I've been through hills and valleys. I survive in all the old gap. Yo, how you deal with, brother? Yeah, man. Yeah, Tanya, but look here. Me cannot interview artists. I mean, I interview Tanya Stephens. Tanya Stephens is the greatest female artist to have ever lived. Whether Jamaica or abroad. Nobody not greater than Tanya Stephens to me. You feel me? In terms of lyrical potency. So, then we have to interview Tanya. But you say Tanya is a strange lady. You know, you don't even to know. You have to just wait till I get the right link. You understand what I mean? I say, I not fight L.A. Lewis still, but I interview artists. Anthony B. You know, me been a try reach out to Father Anthony B. Because sexy fat girl in a Kingston City. With that? Yo. Teacher pull up all night and then me up front. No, alright. Pastor lady, of course I would love to interview ladies, sir. But oh, me don't want to interview ladies, sir. But I want to interview ladies, sir, when ladies are going to talk about her career. I don't want ladies, sir, come preach to me. I tell her the truth. You understand what I say? And thing. Zane? So, if I preach, ladies are really going to preach. I'm not really interested. If ladies are going to talk to me about her journey in the music, and where she have come from in the music, and what she achieved, and why she moved to Christianity, then fine. Then I preaching. Then I go look for Ryan Mark and Harold Blair and them people for that. You understand what I say? I just the same thing there. But peeps, all legends them I get interview, man. Yes, I say. So now go in, no better come go in as you gonna send Steve McGregor phone. Yeah, and them and they're not afraid to tell people where you find on you, say if you find on the bed on no just dead. You understand? General degree, you know, say one day me almost left school with my gear for go interview with degree and then we'd have to cancel. And then the next time, and then somebody in our family did drop out and thing. I mean, I link him since recent times. Seeing, cause somebody did pass him at the time when my mother died and thing. So him did a deal with film thing, me did a deal with film thing when I really met no link since them time there. Really and truly like that. So, you know what I think. Yeah, me I say, I can't go in now. I can't go in. Degree the ball, man, it's just matter of time. See? It's a matter of time. Cause anything I want the job done properly. Yeah, son? Yeah, man. Yeah, there you go. But peeps, as me I say, right now me I tell them too much of my business. Me I interview some people, I don't watch you interview them, and me don't talk to them. And they just, you understand? See? Yeah, man, general a good youth, man. You understand? So, when that thing up calm down, see? We're ready again. You understand? And then we run some interviews and we couldn't see the views and you know what I mean, and thing. So yeah. I think we did for interview Johnny P about 2 weeks ago. And we decided we not bother do that because the corona thing did really and truly start get out of hand that time. So we never bother do that interview there. So we have that for do too. You understand? Terry Linen put on, Cabra put on, Sanchez a work pan, Terror Fabulous a work pan, Tiger a work, a million people. The Warlord, when we're ready, we just link in general and we say we're ready and then everything's steady. You understand? E-commerce. I don't know, you know. I don't know. Maybe I have to go look into it. And even looking into it right now, I still don't know. You understand? Because some things. So, me doubt it. You understand? Nigel still say, look John a foundation. Look John more than foundation. You understand? Them man there at the whole floor. You see him? Yeah, man. You know what I think? Yeah, man. Johnny P a bad DJ, man. A bad DJ. You understand? A bad DJ. You see me? It's a beautiful sight. I man love to watch. You see the young girl, them pandy bite back. I'm gone now. Interview some this jacket. Then how much people me go interview one time? Fire 27, sir. I can only interview one person at a time, sir. And edit one video. Yo, no easy, you know. No easy, you know. You understand? My friend, this bust upon a big link, you know. That link there. When that link the boss, Glenn Washington, naturally, man. You understand? And thing, when that link the boss, yo, them a go fear us. Pastor Papa San, yeah, man, I love to interview San and Stitchy, man, and Junior Tucker. I pre Junior Tucker. It's probably not so hard to get still. And thing. Cause we get a few links in the piece. We just keep the thing humble. We just keep smiling and moving. You understand? We try one thing in our work. See, either try a next link, it might work. You understand? Barrington, I want to tell you, say, I go as far as to go to Barrington Levy Yard and I couldn't find him. It's like him did on Broadway. You understand? So at the end of the day, I still try to find Father Barrington. But I will get through to Barrington, man. You know where yourself. Make me go as far as down there, down Clarendon there. You understand? Round now one place back so. And then you turn down so and go up so and then you go on down one place and me didn't find him. But we still look for him. You understand? But it's just a matter of time, man. Just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. See? Things take a little time. Right, comes? Yeah, man. You know what thing go. And I told him to come. Yo. I'm too experienced to be taken for a stroll. Yeah, son. Too experienced for someone to rock at. Comes our sweet yo. First, yeah, son. I say, Lady G and Barry G. Oh, the boogeyman. You understand? Yeah, man. I would have loved to interview Barry G. I would have loved to interview David Radigan. You understand? Yeah. Me then love to interview some only for people, yeah, man. And the thing right now is some only for people that love to be interviewed by the teeth. So everything I reach, you understand? And them things. See, peace, me going to interview some people and now going to say, other big head boy, yeah. I will teach you that out here. You understand? But right now, you need for going a curfew time. You see? Curfew time. Curfew time. You understand? That's me and send Steve McGregor phone. See? So, I just put in on the request. I will try my best. You understand? Cliff Hughes. Look, I'm done telling you, I'm just artist alone I want to interview, you know. One of the persons I love to sit down and roll a reason with is Mr. Renito D. Cardova Valentino Adams. So, man like them, man, there. You understand? And such, man. But, yeah, man, we're going to do some work, man. See? And things. So, right now, if I was kind of, you know what I mean? I hold it down the thing. But as Terror say, I just Jah works. When you see the rain fall, Jah works. Blessings over. You know what I mean? So, we not too pressure thing. You understand? Kalanji, I mad respect you for them, man, you know. You understand? Zane and thing. I don't know if I see nobody outside at on stage or entertainment report interview Jonah Gag, you know. So, you know, I think we have some things in my mind, you know. You understand? Up to the time, you know. Yeah, so let me say and thing. Adam's interview then gone viral. Me not ask nobody. Me I tell you. Adam's interview then gone viral. You understand? Nothing to stop it. Me then love to interview Len. Bigger Ford. Trinity. You understand? Them man there. I'm such man. We don't know if you interview Mr. Lewis. You understand? That interview they would have slippery like okra. You know okra? Yeah. Teach what time Sunday? Sunday service are normally between 12 to 3. You understand? This week, you know, free walk with your feet. You see? Yeah, man. Cause we have to sanitize the church. You understand? So you know anything go. They have to buy things. The thing with Junior Ball's situation is kind of delicate as he is currently battling mental illness. So in order to get Junior Ball's, it's just that Junior Ball's may not be in a state where you can really interview him at this point in time. So that's the situation with Junior Ball's. Yeah, so I say Junior gang very hype. Well, you never know still enough sometimes. Cause look here. When I have vibe with the artist, it's just like a two good friend I make a chat. You understand? I just reason that everybody cool, everybody allow. So it depends on who the person is. It depends on the vibes. It depends on the energy where the person feel and them things. Zane and them something there. And you remember the traffic cop? That would be wicked. Lewis, that man, Radcliffe Lewis, man. I him, man, when I say slipper like okra, I him me a coat. You see? And thing. I say, boy, I don't know. I just say, I don't know. So, I could say, but I say, I see nobody outside at TVJ. In terms of entertainment reporter on stage, I interview the gang. You understand? And the gang are one of the man where me have all of man albums them for sure, yo. See, you have some people may have all of them albums. You understand? Sizzla Kalanji, me have all of them. Me have quite a number of them. Buju Banton, Tanya Stephens. You see me I say? And from of the album, them you know say at different levels. You understand? Dwayne Stephens, Jonah Gang, we have the album them. You understand? Teach. If you do Nadine, you have to do Junior. Yeah, man. So I'm gonna tell us a Junior Tucker is and with we not interview Little Kirk yet still, but Little Kirk, I'm a G. If you understand, Little Kirk, I'm a general. Zane, because if you interview Little Kirk already, you know, but Little Kirk, they have a little incident where him did kinda have to get some medical care and thing. Not no major still, so they kinda reschedule. But me interview somebody out of that link there recently, but I not tell you no how. You understand? Next week Sunday, we see. We're on the crew. But that's on there. Couple people call the artist for Sunday name already, but I know me couldn't know wiser. You understand? I know me couldn't know wiser, you know. You see, because you know what thing go. Yeah, man. So, I don't know what thing go. As me I say, peeps, but just if from an artist who put in the work, all of us would teach them. Stand right, say, look, Lenny, at that say you go. she have the gun in her. She, man, she. Pram. Oh, the girl I walk in special. Pram. Ah, boy. Look, we see what go on in the dawn. You understand? Auntie. Yes, sire. So, as I say, the artists them out there, we're willing to do the work, as long as they're willing for all the reasons. And every artist, you reach out to one do an interview. For various reasons. Some artists just done the interview thing. Some of them feel like them have things that work on where them want forward when that ready. Some of them not really see you as nobody of importance. Zane. But the reality is that I have not done an interview where the artist them not call me and I say, yo, teach me. Never know say so far the thing reach. You understand? Because right now my phone a breach. You see, and the thing, they're different. But we just keep a thing on a level. If me share some voice notes, we don't know. You don't even know, man. You understand? But we're out here. So we are going in, you know. We need to do the same thing and come off a treat. You see? And you know, like I say, me and left and I still there chat. From about 11 o'clock. You understand? From about 11. The watcher, Rodney, look, it's not a matter of, it's a killer thing, it's just a matter of when, brother. And I just mean already for interview the warlord. See, certain things have to in place in terms of gear and equipment, and me okay with everything in terms of getting the thing perfect. You understand? Because them interview the golden, you know. So you know one thing, you know what I mean? Teach me tell you say who say no today will say yes tomorrow. Me not really look, Miss Alcine, you see when I reach out to an entertainer and them say yo X Zina or somebody link them for me and them say X, then me just yeah man, everything good man. When the artist ready man we're there. You understand, we out here do some work. So we don't really make that get to it, man. Everything good man. I just love said way. You understand? Can't teach them come back with blood in them eye. So if you don't know which artist sing that tune there, you don't know what I go on Sunday. I not go no more than that. Me come back with blood in me eye. Yo, teach thing bigger road. The thing I grow family. Thing I grow. You understand? I go for eyes Jimmy. You know Jimmy eyes and they say I tired them. They tired man. See in the watcher. They say Adam's possible still. From me here say that me know say a thing possibly here. You want to know say natural black. Cause I book a girl the other day when I met her, she was far from reality. I never knew that before I met her. She was far. I don't know a natural black there. I hear says a Guyanese man say I'm good as not there. You understand? And thing. I wanna say I look what Johnny Wonder sing, me come back with bloody damn me eye. Well, me could see what go on then no. Teach them. Me no know, me no so all. Then me no know the song there, then they're lucky. You understand me as a carry? If you go know a song. Juna Kelly, you know. Now when nobody tell you cannot make it, them wrong. Just hold on pan His Majesty and maybe not try to find Juna and I get through it. You understand? I know somebody a work pan it for me, but then you know happen yet. You understand? And thing. You see. One day for Mother Andrew, you know say a thing with Father, forgive me, me not complain. But sometimes the system stress into the brain. When things get rough and times get harder, sometimes me have to ask, what is Father? The thing with Andrew, you know, me link Andrew and Andrew say, he will get back to me. Me still await. You understand me? I said, then, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yes. My gone. Big up to yourself. But if I better big on tonight. Agent Sasko is a matter. Yo, what look like when come out of me? Juna Kelly and my brother neighbor, you know. Him links then Peter me. Then you know when Michael me there. Oh no, then don't know what I mean, man. Yo, wanna come out of me? Renito is here to please. I am not here to deceive. Yeah, we looking at tomorrow and Saturday. What you mean that tomorrow? Then me not have to go sleep. Look here. You know say I don't sleep 1 hour last night. I could not sleep. I don't know why. And I never sleep yesterday. But then say no, me sleep about 1 hour and then me wake up. Make sure I say everything in place for the stream. Sasko, your brother teach. No, you know, but you know what I mean. The girls them say we kinda look alike. Them say me I didn't want someone still. I'ma walk with it. You understand? But big up Jeffrey Campbell anyway, and I heard him there. You understand? Because me get a daughter now, so me have to think smarter now. He means say me a think constructive. It's like say my brain I make smarter now. Yo. Oh boy. Teach brother from another mother. You understand? You know, Agent Sasko is the man when me have as the most creative artist in the business lyrically outside of DJ Palmer. You understand? So you know, say when we link up a drama. See? Teach, one angel tell me his name is Little John. Hey, you can see what go on. You understand? Luke Sergeant. Me almost a Lieutenant Stitchy look while in a Luke Sergeant. Then he's asleep, more asleep. Big up yourself, you know. I'm Father Luke. You know what thing go. You see me? Tomorrow is Sunday. Teach is midnight. Then me have to go wake up a morning. I could have to go do one video. Depends on what at on the street. Cause you know what thing go. And then me lay down the Little John. A Little John me a post. Cause I don't get it already still. Cause I don't know it true. You understand? For real teach. Sasko Are the man. Yeah, Saska Jenna, man. You know, me don't have video say Agent Saska most underrated artist in the business, man. Me not just say that. I mean that. You understand me? I say, you know one thing go? Zane and thing. You understand? So right now, look at Jenna. Some of that tell you, yeah, you understand? So I aim sat there. And next week's Sunday, you know? Yo. Yo. I am, you can't lie. But then me don't tell you not from me sing a song, me know some people are gonna know a song. You understand? Aye. Yeah man, they are general man. See? Abdel right. No, you know, I couldn't tell you, you know. A long time I didn't even hear the name. You understand? No, me not know. I don't know. You see me? People like Yami Bolo and Cocotti, Everton Blender, I just want Blender reach a yard. Zane, because we am Blender kind of whole a reason. And things, Spanner Banner likewise. A whole heap of things, man. Yo, it thing crazy. You understand? And you know, so we put in the work and we're not lazy. So, everything good. Zane, Sasko delivery and lyrics and stage prof. I have said Agent Sasko is the most complete artist in the biz. You understand? And when I say complete, I mean stagecraft, stage command, I mean lyrical potency, I mean delivery. You know, Killer have the best delivery in the business. No man can't tell me nothing other than that. You understand what I say? You know, Vybz Kartel is probably the most creative lyrically. Zane? You understand? I think Beanie Man is arguably the best performer in our business. I saw me anything. But Assassin now have traits of all them three people there. The man is a lyrical genius. The man is a top performer. And the man is just complete. Bunny Wheeler. Yo, when you go Bunny, you know. A Grammy settings are gone, you know. Father Bunny. You know what thing go? Bojo. Bojo a legend, Peter. You mean Bojo bad too? Me tell you say Bojo dance house up a Bojo Beanie and Bounty. You know, me tell you that. That is Trinity, brother. Yes, and in a pass, so. That's how it up. See? Teach me have a question. You ask your interview. Auntie. Yeah, son. Yeah, man. So, we are Bunny Wheeler. You know what I go on, man. I know say general good as a center and but one of them time. You understand? Because I say we have to go and build the catalog and the more people interview. Yeah, man, when I say Grammy settings, I don't mean that somebody will win Grammy, and I mean say it's a different level that, you know. Yeah, man, being a man don't win Grammy too, man. And you see me? So that mean when I say Grammy, man, everything good, man. You see? Too much people there for interview, man. Too much people there for interview, man. You see me? Super cat. With a love reason with the Dan Dada. How you mean? You see? Jabby. Yes, Jabberis. Me assume say I talk still. You understand? Auntie. Who up a Mona the oxygen? Saw Bunny last week here in Kingston. Then when I say Bunny again, they make Bunny need for no say teach them need for raise with him. You understand? When I say the artist them thing, and if you tell the artist them so family, you know say teach them is the man where I make the message reach them. And is a youth where you know go get a problem. So you have to just link up and then the animal be friend and then you can take it from then and interview. You understand? And them things. See? The oxygen, we have to talk. You understand? The great William Marat. What you say, brother? You understand? Yo, the Dan Dada. Jabby, Bunny Wheeler. I know some people call Father Berries Jabby as well, you know. You see? And thing. We anyone there is a next youth I have one different level of ratings upon a level cause you see we anyone there, you know. I don't know if we anyone there ever sing a song when I hit. From them and the voice gone. You understand? It take a special skill. Whether him write here, whether him sing, if it's man, sing over smart, it just different. How many people even know say, we anyone that even push Buju to the world, and them man that the first man call Buju on stage. You understand? A greatness them man. See, Sister Nancy. Sister Nancy sing again. Oh, yeah. Sister Nancy. Yeah, man. Sister Nancy, no, Brigadier Jerry, sister that. I think so. See? Black Ahuru. A legendary interview that with Jonah Lewis. A different settings that again, you know. Bongo Herman. Yo. Jonah Reid. Yeah, man. One blood, man. One of them time, man. I pray that in a pipeline said speed. See? And thing. Enough things, man. Everything just take a little time, man. Yeah. Maxi Priest, said speed. Freddie McGregor, the captain. I wanna say, man. Yo, I gotta be bed. I'm tired. I'm serious now. They make me done with the talking. I'm hiding red and weak. I want some sleep. Yeah, man. Yeah, someone say Nancy and Brigadier, brother and sister. I know a few local things, you know. And we are learn it. You see me? We are learn it, man. Joker, me I got my bed, sir. He always a coming alive done. Admiral Bailey, you know say Father Bailey, last time I talked to him, he never did do so well in him. Did I recover from a little thing and then I never talked to him since. Zane and them something there. So we see how it go. You understand? Please, me say me a plan teach. My cousin said I am waking up with the nice. Teach God. What you know? Me a plan for interview most of them, man. It's just that take a look at time. You understand? Shaka D must employees, but then brother, them man they easy get you know. You understand? Them man they but one of them time. Joker free speech, pick up yourself and brother. But hope you and the family good first and foremost. Cause we don't really reason like that in a little bit. You understand what I say? And think peeps, manners and respect. You understand? I sat there. You see? Teach, you have to interview 3 of them in one because Jamaica have lots of artists. Nah, man, one by yo, as last time my father say, one by one. Yeah, man, I just say go. I just say think that man. I when we done now, but I brother the name again. Yeah, another one. It's another one. Yeah, so everything. You see, teach question for the interview Q&A. You are a legendary artist. If they are to tell you your life story, who would you like to play you in your biography? Okay, alright, we see. If I can remember, because them something I'm in a script them, you know. All of the interview with them, I just flow, you know. Sometimes we don't remember like question them, sometimes we remember everything we want to ask. But it's just a flow, it's just a vibe, nothing scripted. You understand? We just kind of know the format in our head now. You see size, you know everything, realize, zine. So you just flow, you know. Sometimes the artist them lead you down one particular way. So you forward down this, but then you come back and grow on this and go up this. So we don't really write down nothing still. But alright, me write it down in my head. Zine. Me have to talk to you about Bailey. Zine, me have to talk to you about Bailey. You understand? But I know nothing too serious, man. Everything good, man. See? And thing. Yeah. So peeps, big up on yourself for the year. We'll get some rest. Like you see me, I'm really and truly tired. I will tell us if I feel tired, bit tired. Guys, we don't get to sleep last night for some strange reason. See? So I get some rest because tomorrow editing day. And I want done the Lucky John interview edit by about 12 o'clock tomorrow night. And the editing is a one day thing. You understand? You just get up for a while, you go be there, get something to eat, and you go walk a little. You understand? And thing. And you probably go work on the next video or them something about it's tedious. I lay down the 2 camera them already, cam 1 and cam 2. So I need to go through and cut out the pieces that I'm gonna need. out of the main camp. See, Eddie Fitzroy, alright, balance the audio and them something, then cut camera and two, then lay down graphics, and then it will take about 3 hours to export and render. Then it take about 3 hours to upload and process, and so it's a whole heap of thing. You understand? Father Stanwright, big up yourself. Zine Garfield, Leslie, Finnar, George Davidson, Kerry J, Zine Cookie Mama, and Alcine. You understand, Miss Joan Gray. All of the moderators, then big up on yourself. Fire 27, Diamond Clark, Junior Lewis, DS Electronics, Scams, big up yourself for the Empress, you know what I think go. Sheldon Lawrence. I don't want to name. Sheldon Lawrence. Yeah. I wonder if it's I don't know that nice street. Sheldon Lawrence, big up yourself. Joker Free Speech. See, me I left on your reach. You understand? Craig Creations, big up yourself for the brother. You know what's something good. You feel bit, yeah, bad. But enjoy the little vibes in a reason, in a late part of the dance. You understand? And thing. When I'm peace, I'm telling you some things sometimes, but that be it. But as I said, we've been putting in the work. The catalog is good. I have over 30 interviews now. You may not realize that. See, now we have some giants in that. You understand? When you go Merciless, see, when you go Admiral Tibet, you go Richie Stevens, you go Singing Melody. You understand? You go Slide Dunbar. You go, giants, man. So, you know, I think I'm Bill, man. See, Nadine Sutherland. And nah, man, settings, sir. See, teach, you know the name, Lazana, Bender, no. See, Eddie Fitzroy got, yeah, man, Eddie Fitzroy name drop out for true. That me I think, you know. Yeah, man, Eddie Fitzroy drop out, man. See, who remember, teach them marathon. Enough of them now watch it, about 3 people watch it. You understand? Me, DS and Dante, I lie, because Ingrid Theatre and all of people did in there. May I give myself a good problem, answer. Peeps, good night, good morning, good afternoon, good something. You understand? And thing. Soon, tomorrow, later, them time, big up on yourself. Walk good, step with you, and go on to bed, and come off our road, and go in. You understand? Love you, guys. I'm out.
Teach them! Hey, yo, hello! Send the message and make it reach them. It's teach them. Right here. Warlord representing.